Podcast is intended for mature audiences. The views and opinions expressed are those of the panelists and do not reflect in any way those of the podcast partners, sponsors, or affiliates. Enjoy.
Hi, this is Michael Buffer, and you're listening to the voice of the people. Let's get ready for Boxing Voice.
Every day I'm hustling, 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 hustling. Every day I'm hustling, 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 every day I'm, every day I'm, every day.
Call me Mr. Chimney. I want smoke.
I'm coming back. I gotta at least do a foreman, you feel me? Shout out to all my sucker duckers, motherfuckers out there.
Ness Heyman.
How you big and bad and you fucking crying like a baby?
Just my thoughts, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm just keeping it 100% real. I put in the miles. I get in every fucking gym. They want me there. Yo, dudes is straight corny, man.
Horrible fighter.
TheBoxingVoice.com. You doing some whack shit. You covered in whack juice out here.
Horrible fighter.
Your favorite fighter's a liar. You mad at me for keeping it fucking real.
Ness Heyman.
I'm being keeping it real, like them niggas they keep it real, that's real.
TheBoxingVoice.com. Carrying popcorn in bags for grown-ass men. The fuck off my comment section, man.
He's on fire!
What's the highest level you made it to? The comment section?
Bruh.
Fuck out of here. Somebody insert the fucking excuse that I need to be telling y'all because y'all lying, man.
Excuses, excuses, excuses. I knew it was coming.
Our referee stops the contest. He is the winner by way of technical knockout, and he is still undefeated.
Ness Heyman. This message was brought to you by SDS Promotions.
What up, what up, what up, what up, what up? Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. It is officially hump day. We getting over the week. It is Wednesday, so we do got some previews and predictions to discuss because Pro Box taking over for Showbox, keeping it nice and hot for us boxing fans. So we'll have that main event to discuss. You got none other than Nicholas Walters, the Axeman. He is back in action, and he will be taking on Joseph Adorno. 10-round lightweight bout. We'll talk all about Plant City, Florida's Pro Box TV card after we touch on the gossip. So Rick Glazier is reporting something that I can confirm from my sources, that Derrick James feels underpaid. Because I'm going to show you what Rick is saying. I'm getting a slightly different story. Or rather, I'm getting the same story, just that I'm interpreting it differently. Now, I'm not saying there isn't any foul play, because certainly there could be, and it seems that there is. But this is Rick Glazier's tweet from the 26th, which would be yesterday. And as you can see, he says, Errol Spence has reputedly stiffed Derrick James out of his trainer fee from the Terrence Crawford fight. It could be Earl didn't like Derrick James' fight plan, but no fight plan that Spence could execute was going to beat Crawford. Looks like Earl has that pimpin' hoe mentality. At Earl paid Derrick. So I heard a slightly different story that is going to probably break in the next day, if not today, because I'm hearing that Derrick James is going to sue Errol Spence for this fee that he believes he is owed for the Crawford fight. Now, this goes many different ways, ladies and gentlemen. there's two ways of doing things, contracts, right? Where your money is safe because you have a contract stating what you get. Many trainers receive 10% of the purse of the fighter. The issue with that is the fighters are usually in cahoots with the promoters to put a smaller purse on the commission so that they're taxed less, so that their sanctioning body fee is also less, and so that their trainer fee is less, because you're paying your trainer 10% of whatever you're reporting to the commission. So there's times that Errol Spence allegedly made less than $1 million, allegedly, which means James was to receive 10% of whatever that number be, hypothetically $800,000. $80,000 would go to Derrick. And obviously Derrick was very happy with that. But he started to notice that the fights would get bigger, but the pay wouldn't change. So I'm told that he questioned it, and he's like, yo, what's going on? They're not treating you right. Like, this should be more. And Earl will tell him, nah, they saying just win this fight and we're going to get it to the next fight. So that did come. That Crawford fight came. And Earl gave him 10% of what he reported to the commission, not of what we know he generated. Now, here's the gray area. See, here's where I'm not mad at Earl, because I don't know any fighter. Now, I could be wrong, just like I was wrong when I said this about Canelo. When I said, I don't know any fighter that asks for that much money. Then you, the community, right away say, hey, don't forget Fury asked for 500 million pounds. But I'm still saying I don't know any fighter that gives their trainer 10% of their overall income, What does that mean? First of all, moving forward since this situation, trainers need to get their fighters on paper, right? And in that contract say, look, I'm getting 10%, but when the fight becomes a pay-per-view fight and you get back in, throw me something. We don't need to settle on a number, because I have it on very good accord that Bomac was given $2 million from Crawford. So shame on you, Errol Spence. Shame on you. You're only giving Derrick James $250,000. That's 10% of what he reported to the Las Vegas Commission. And that's very generous. Again, this is where we may see differently. I think that's still very generous. I think, according to Earl and what he put down for the commission, that's what he received up front. That's what he's paying the 10% on. If you and I never established the conversation that when I get into this big pay-per-view fight, you want a secondary check, why would you assume things have changed? Why would I be giving you a second check now? Again, I have it on very good, knowledge that Rolly gave Casamayor. Remember, I've been saying that since the Tank fight, that we've been hearing all up and down Vegas. Rolly blessed the motherfucking holy fuck out of Casamayor with the fat check, So sometimes it don't got to be on paper. Sometimes the fighter just blesses you because he's grateful. In this case, I'm told that Earl must have talked to somebody because, his tune changed from apologetic to I paid you well. So we'll see what comes from it, man. Again, I'm hearing there will be a lawsuit. I don't know that it's going to stick up in court. You're talking no contracts. You're talking verbal contracts. You're talking no talks of extension. And what I mean by that is like, look, when we get in that pay-per-view fight, there's no history of back-end extension. Like, yo, I got in that pay-per-view fight with Mikey. Can the records show that you got back-end money for that fight? Do the records show you got back-end money for the Porter fight? So why should you get back-end money for my biggest fight? I know some of you feel he's entitled because it's a family thing. And, yeah, that's why, you know, rumors are Crawford gave Bomac $2 milli. You feel me? But everybody's definition of fair is different. Again, the normal is 10%. And the normal, as far as I know, is guaranteed money, not back-end money. Not back-end money. So I don't know that Derrick is owed back-end money. Now, if he can prove that Earl was whacking him by putting fake purses at the commission and paying him 10% of that, then he's got an argument. But how do you even prove that? You feel me? So, really unfortunate situation as they came so far together. He's been training Earl since the, amateurs. His father seeked out Derrick. So, very unfortunate situation. But transitioning here to the other part of the show, Plant City, Florida, Pro Box TV. Joseph Adorno is your A-side main event, taking on Nicholas the Axeman Walters in a 10-round lightweight fight. I don't really know what Walters has. I've been down here in Florida soaking up the Floridian sun, and haven't seen Walters in Vegas since I last seen him in Vegas and was highly impressed with his phenomenal Spanish. I didn't get to see him spar. I don't know what he got. Adorno, he ain't been able to get over that hump. Hopefully, for his sake, this is someone he could beat because Walters, he's been out the high level for a minute. He's gotten some fights in Panama and things like that, but he's been out that high level for a minute now. Jesus Seracho is back. This is a good co-main event, guys. Sterling Castillo beat Uresti, who just fought Floyd Schofield, and he didn't have all the trouble that Schofield had in terms of dirty fighting. And Seracho beat Cesar Francis and someone else that we rock with. So that's a good, decent little fight there. The Jesus Seracho and Sterling Castillo fight. Mexico versus DR. We got Omar Juarez taking on Clarence Booth. Mr. St. Pete is back. Shout out to Pro Box for bringing him back after that very tough fight with Kelvin Davis, where some thought he beat Kelvin. I don't know who Tristan Galichang is, taking on Carlos Arroyo in a 4-round lightweight fight. And Terrence Williams, no, that's Tremaine Williams that I'm thinking of. I don't know who Terrence Williams is either. But the main event and co-main is decent, and this is what we're talking about. And if you want to call in, you can do that by joining us on our Twitter Spaces and or our Discord. I do want to add that I was also told that things started to reveal themselves for Derrick once he started to take in new fighters, right? Because obviously Earl works with Frank, so that situation is the same. But once, AJ and Ryan came and he noticed those pays and how they pay and how things were significantly different, that's when things started to get weird. And And it should have been his best year. Think about it. We were giving him credit for Earl and Ryan and all these guys that he brought in. But, for his biggest fighter, he wasn't getting the check he was supposed to get, right? But if you're interested and you want to call in, once again, Discord is available. I am putting together that link so we can go ahead and share it on our live chat here on youtube.com/The Boxing Voice, where I hope you've already subscribed. We're trying to get to that goal of 1 million. Right now, we're on 200,000 and some change. Closing in, I think, on 203,000, possibly. I'll give you an update in just a bit. But once again, we're talking Derrick James and Errol Spence splitting, and Derrick rumored to have filed a lawsuit yesterday on Earl. I don't know the amount that he's seeking. I've seen some numbers out there. I don't know. My source didn't tell me any specific amount that he's seeking out, so I'm not throwing anything out there. I just don't know that he gets it. You got a verbal contract. You know what I'm saying? And there was never conversations of back-end payments, you know? We never sat down and say, hey, when you become a pay-per-view fighter, if and when you become a pay-per-view fighter, we need to sit down and renegotiate. You need to give me X amount of dollars as a bonus, for every pay-per-view sold, Which, speaking of every pay-per-view sold, believe it or not, and again, my own source said they don't know how true this is, but they heard it from, people very close to Frank Martin, that he is getting $5. I won't say the number because that'll burn my source, but he's getting $5 after a certain number sold on pay-per-views. That's pretty impressive. Feel me? Now again, my source said, bro, I don't know that I believe that. That sounds too good to be true. But he also said, Frank, like the Queens of the Ring said, Frank Ben knew about this fight since back then when he pulled out the Shakur fight. So I don't know. Maybe he's true. I mean, 5 off the back, off every pay-per-view. After a certain number, though. Again, I'm not going to release that number as not to, give too much info and burn my source. But it don't matter. $5 off of every pay-per-view. So that's a lot. Shit, I need a deal like that. Shit, that's a lot. And again, I know that they only they looking for, $5 off of every buy. When I say off of every pay-per-view, what you think? He made me lose my train of thought. They're expecting what I was going to say with that. Fucker. B-Dog, you did that. It's your fault. All good. Phone lines are open if you want to call in. You know what to do. Discord, Twitter Space is available. I pinned that link in the live chat. All you got to do is request Sportsbook. First up, what up? While we wait for Sportsbook, Boxing to connect, don't forget to smash the thumbs up.
Yo.
What up? Quicker
Salute
we get
to the panel.
quicker we open up that live chat. Talk to us.
Yeah, y'all get the lights up, man. It's an unfortunate event, man. Once again, we see another situation that's where, it's some BS going on the business side aspect, whether it's the fighter getting fucked out of some money or whether it's the trainer or whether it's the coach, you know what I'm saying? And it's crazy, man. I don't know the specific details, like we all in the same playing field, but evidently something isn't right with what he was supposed to get and what he got. So, I'm just hoping that all parties can, settle it out in a smooth way. And, upon more information, we'll find out, exactly what's going on. But supposedly he been shortchanging this man You know, and that's kind of fucked up because, you know, Derrick James was one of
but
go ahead, go ahead.
how do you perceive it? Like,
Man, I think it's fucked up,
but
bro. You know what I'm saying?
is he
Go ahead.
short changing them?
Yeah, see, that's why I didn't want to really speak on it all the way because we not for sure. But for him to sue, it had to be some sort of a
but I'm being
issue.
told. Listen, I'm being told he's suing because he believes he deserves or is owed off of the Crawford fight. Remember, Earl and Crawford made 20 million plus, so he thinks he deserves or should have gotten more than $250,000. But what I'm trying to explain to y'all is like, what fighter got a contract that stays? Like, I never seen that. And again, I could be wrong. Like, I was fucking wrong with the Canelo thing, and we found out Fury asked for more money. But, bro, if I'm wrong, there's going to be just like that situation. Only one other fucking guy that did that, because it's like, what fighter sits down and says, hey, coach, when I become a pay-per-view star, I'm going to give you $1 off every pay-per-view, or I'm going to give you 10% bump.
Yeah. See, was this written? And that's the thing. I've never heard that neither. You know what I'm saying? I just thought,
of course you don't,
break
because
them off
a kid walk in the gym and you don't even think he could be a pay-per-view star. You just want your gym dues. So then when he becomes pro, you don't think he could be star. You just want your 10%. So it's like, yo, if you ain't sit down and rewrite that contract, which they don't got, you talking about going in on some verbal shit.
No, okay, so yeah, see, now if it's on verbal, then there you go. Now this is the business side. If there's no contract that's put in place,
it's Texas.
Yeah, I know, but then again, like you say, once again, if they go to court and it's no fucking contract, Ness, then we know how this thing gonna go.
No,
you're not gonna win.
But look, there has to be a verbal contract, right? Earl will be under oath. Obviously, not everybody tells the truth under oath. Some people still decide to lie, but James's defense team can show a long history and their relationship. Like, he's been training Earl since a kid. Like, he can show that he was somehow sleptwalk. I don't really know how to say that in layman's terms.
Yeah, because like you say, remember when he had lost that tournament, his father was the one who went up to Derrick James and, had asked him like, hey, can you train my son? And Derrick was like, yeah, I could get him straight. So they've been together since the amateurs. So I see what you're saying, but then once again, it now it depends on the judge, and I don't know the legalities of it, because
I'm hearing there's gonna be a super duper, like if they don't settle and they go to court, there's gonna be a super duper like, I guess a
legal battle.
No, the right way to say it is, there will be a piece of evidence introduced for court that will probably help James in the good way, allegedly.
Okay. Now if that's allegedly, then and it doesn't get settled, I'm assuming that evidence would have to be something that's written, signed. I would assume. Now, because once again, once you get into verbal shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, it has to be some evidence, some form of evidence, whether, I don't know, it was, hell, he might be as fed as recording, I don't know. But like you say, if a piece of evidence is now brought to the table, I would think it would have to be something on a contractual situation, Ness. Because anything,
I even heard that I heard he not even allowed in the gym. But but I get that too. Like, if I think you owe me millions of dollars, again, because in Derrick's minds, he feel he's owed a substantial amount of money. I don't know what that number is, but like, if you looking at your man's, if Crawford made 20, what the fuck did Earl make? Because if Ryan made 30 and Tank made 40, Crawford made 20, what did Earl make? And that number is what got Derrick thinking like, well, shit, you ain't give me nothing. But it's also built off, I hear this goes back as far as the Porter fight. Like, in the Porter fight.
See?
He like, yo, what's up? And I heard,
Now, see, now it gets different.
I
Yeah.
heard he was told like, nah, the next one. They told me the next one. And so, Derrick already had his ears up there, like, yo, they ain't treating you right, but they really is treating them right.
See, that's what I'm saying. So now it's pretty much on one side, it's Errol Spence who can say, you've been getting paid this. It is what it is.
Yeah, but
you got paid.
Without that evidence, Earl's case is pretty solid because Errol is using his fight purse that is submitted to the commission, and off that he's paying Derrick 10% of that. So, again, I don't know what judge is gonna be like, yeah, you owe him money because you made money on the back end. Like,
yeah, now see that matters too. Now we getting into the judges. Okay, so what kind of judge are we gonna have? Are we gonna have a judge that's gonna say, even though it may not be contractual evidence that can support Derrick James, the judge still may be sympathetic
I want to see
say,
how far it gets.
Yeah, but you got paid this on the back end. Why didn't? Yeah, it's crazy, Once again, and this is why they say, you don't settle. If you don't settle, it can get dragged on, and we'll never know. We just gotta watch this thing play out. But it's interesting because, like you say, the key is gonna be what is the evidence. If it does have to go to that situation, the evidence is gonna be the key. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's contractual or whether it's, just maybe records, however it's going to work, that's going to be the key. And also, like you say, even if they don't have that paperwork, say, to speak on a contractual level, they can still, maybe it's a judge who's sympathetic and understand, like, maybe, but once again, man, once you get into legal stuff, yeah.
That's the bell, but I do want to, okay. So I do want to just say that this has happened before. We've seen this in the case of Daniel Jacobs and Andre Rozier. The big fight came for Jacobs, and he split. Didn't want to pay Rozier what he deserved out of his purse. Remember, Jacobs got paid like $12.5 million on paper. You know what I mean? Because they was dealing with the zone, so they straightforward with their shit. So, that caused the split in between them because of that. So this is not the first time. That's why on my thumbnail it says it's always about the money. This is not the first time. It will not be the last time. Trainers notoriously get stiff. Trainers never have contracts with fighters. Fighters can walk away from trainers every day, any day. And it is unfortunate. That's why you see there are more trainers like Bomac and before Bomac that are trainer managers because, you ain't going nowhere. You feel me? I gotcha. Because you invest all this time into an individual. Can you think about the amount of hours that Derrick spent with Errol instead of his daughter? The days that Errol wanted to work on specific times because he's the big fish, that Derrick had to be away from his family to accommodate Errol, only not to be paid what you're entitled to. It's pretty unfortunate, bro. Pretty unfortunate that this sport continues to have these types of stories over and over and over. But Marcos, buenos dias, welcome. How are you?
What's cracking? I hit up Derrick yesterday, text him. I said to my Derrick, is it true? Are the splits true? Are the rumors true? And he did not respond.
Yeah, he's not gonna respond, bro. But I'm pretty sure anybody that wants to be a journalist can, contact the court, right? I guess it would be Dallas, and maybe it would be the Civil or whatever building, one of those buildings. I'm usually on the wrong side of the courts, so I don't know where to go. But whenever someone files a lawsuit, it's public record.
So he definitely filed the lawsuit. That's a fact.
That's what I'm told.
Okay. Well, he did respond to me, actually. He goes, I was like, yo, let me know. People are asking. He goes, about what? And I'm like, about the Errol thing, and then I haven't heard from him. I used to get a lot of.
I mean, look at his interview with Najee. He has so little emotion, poor guy, bro. It's just an unfortunate situation.
I don't know if you're seeing my stuff, but I've interviewed him at least 5 times leading up to the Spence fight with Crawford. He was real open with me. My former, I had a partner named Jeremy Williams who was a heavyweight in the 90s. We used to kind of co-host together, and him and Jeremy were in the amateur Olympic squad together. So he used to really talk to us a lot. But then I think when the Errol Spence fight came, a lot of pressure because then he also took on Ryan and AJ and
that was a blessing in disguise because I'm told that he got to see how AJ's contract was. Like AJ, it's a whole different setup. AJ makes his trainers wear certain outfits because of sponsors, and AJ gives you a contract.
Damn.
So, he woke up and smelt the coffee with AJ and with Ryan, and he like, yo, something's up.
Yeah, I didn't see the interview you're talking about. He was just real methodical about it.
If you're talking about the Najee interview, I mean, the Earl part, you could tell they don't fuck with each other. He says, so when the last time you talked to Earl, he's like, 3 weeks ago, 3 months ago. I don't remember because I'm bad with that, but it's one of the threes. And he's like, but we only talked about Frank because Frank is his promoter.
Okay. Well,
and then you know he not his boy no more because he threw shade on him.
Oh.
Najee was like, should Earl come back? He's like, well, if he gonna come back, the only fight he should come back to is Crawford.
Oh.
He said, don't make no sense. Like,
So
basically, you got to go interpret it for yourself, but that's how I'm interpreting. Like, he was like, you don't walk away from an ass whooping. If you're going to come back to fight, you fight the man that whooped your ass.
Did this guy ask the blatant question, like, yo,
are you still working? Nah. Of course not, man. Motherfuckers, you know how that go. He probably got told before the interview, though, because I ain't going to put it all on him. It's not like I haven't been in them situations where before my camera goes on, they telling me what I can and can't ask about.
I was about to ask you, let's say you were talking to Derrick right now, and he said, don't bring up Errol. You would just have to do it, or you'd bring him up anyway?
No, I mean, if he said don't bring up Earl off camera, why would I have that awkward moment and bring up Earl?
Some people do it.
I'm not there to burn relationships on that level.
Right.
If you specifically ask me not to do something, I'm just being disrespectful to you.
Yeah. I don't understand why not just address it? You don't have to get all into it. Just be like, we don't work with each other anymore, whatever. Next question. Let's move on, but whatever.
Yeah, I mean, again, I trust my source. I know shit real.
I mean, the fact that he didn't even respond to me, like up to this point, he would always respond and say yes.
And I taught my audience that before. When they see your message and it goes red, if they don't answer, it's because there's truth to your message. And they don't, there's no way to avoid it. Like whatever I tell you next, so either I say, no, Marcos is not real, now I'm lying to you. Or I tell you, yes, Marcos is real, now I'm confiding in you.
Right. And you're leaving yourself open for follow-up questions, which he doesn't want to deal with.
Exactly. Now I got to be texting you back and forth because you're like, damn, for real, what happened? But why?
Right.
And again, if my source is correct and they are going to there is a lawsuit that was filed, he probably can't say much. Maybe his own attorney told him don't say anything else.
But let's just look at this for a second, though. They've been together for how long? All of Errol's career?
Mm-hmm.
So what the hell would lead to somebody that happening? Crazy.
Well,
right?
again, I told you the breadcrumbs are Ryan and AJ coming into camp, establishing a new form of payment, a new way of taking care of Derrick. Then there is previous issues with certain pay-per-view fights where Derrick already felt they're not paying you enough for this fight. And Earl it's telling him, yeah, I know that's what they saying, but they saying win this one and the next one. So cool. I don't want to burn my soul, so we don't even need to know what fight that is, but we do know that we got to the big fight, which is Crawford. And that's what Derrick is mad about, that he ain't getting the right fee for the Crawford fight. But again, my argument is, what fighter gives a trainer a percentage of his back end check? Like,
and to me, it's not even about all that. To
like
me, it's
Floyd
about
is Floyd is Floyd. Can we safely take a guess and say he was giving his dad also back end?
I don't know.
Floyd selling 1 million pay-per-views. He was also saying, here, Dad, here's your cut of the 1 million?
But that's his dad. It's different.
I mean, and that's why I bring him up, because we seen him throw his dad out live on 24/7.
Yeah. Well, they had a tumultuous. But with me, it's all about what was agreed upon as men, as boys, as friends or boys, whatever, beforehand. And don't they have an agreement going into this? Right?
My understanding is that their agreement is verbal and it was always 10%.
So then what's the problem now?
My dude, that's what I'm telling you, that to everybody, it might not be a problem. Like Errol, unless Derrick can prove that Errol was purposely lying about the commission purse, Errol paid Derrick what he agreed to pay him, 10%.
So Derrick is just, so where's Derrick coming up with this more money that he's owed?
Again, bro, how would you feel if me and you been in business since I was a kid? You've groomed me. You've gotten me to this level. And on that last fight, I made $30-something million and I give you $250.
But isn't it a percentage of the purse? And since it's a big purse, it's more money?
Yeah, but that's the thing. The purse is what the commission has, not what you make on the back end, because those numbers keep rolling in. It takes days to calculate.
I got you. So okay, so he wants money, and that's the thing though. Was that negotiated from the jump? You get a percentage of everything, or you get a percentage of just your purse.
And that is what's gonna be brought up in court. That's what's gonna be brought up in court.
You would think something like that they would outline clearly beforehand, because that's a big discrepancy.
But that's what I'm saying, bro. You think that because this situation arises. But what trainer sits down with an amateur who's 0-0 and says, hey, kid, sign this. This says I get 10% of every purse. It also says when and if you become a pay-per-view star, I get to bump my percentage up like James Prince. That don't work. That don't work. Only James does that, and he's a manager.
But it's about precedent. If they've been doing it a certain way thus far, which is no back end, why would he suddenly want back end? Because it was just a lot of money?
Again, it could have started from the alleged fight where Derrick felt, hey, you're fighting so-and-so. This purse is low. And Errol says, bro, that's what they saying. But they saying if we beat this guy, the next one we good. So maybe he kept giving him that story. I don't know. I only got what I've been able to tell you.
You just got that there's beef and there's a lawsuit, and that's all you really heard.
I got, whatever I've told you, that's what I've got. There's certainly a lawsuit that was filed yesterday. There certainly is a split. He's not allowed in the gym. They haven't spoke since Frank got the fight. Yeah.
Damn. I mean, and that it's too bad too. When you see, like you said, somebody who's been with him from Jump Street, and now, it's too bad.
See, different contracts. Like if you're a manager, right, and I get with you, and you are this standout. Let's say you're a silver medalist, and you're from whatever hood you want to be from, so you want to get out. I know you're talented. You know you're talented, but you just started. You want that house.
Yeah.
Cool. Our contract used to be 10%, But
I remember.
you want that house. I'm putting the down payment. I'm making sure that house gets the loan is approved. I might even fucking be a co-signer on your house. Now my percentage goes from 10 to 15. But now you want to move your mom out the hood too. Cool. My percent go from 15 to 25 now. These things can happen, but you have to have contracts. You have to have the verbiage in the contract for these things to happen.
That's why I'm confused because, like you said, there's contracts, there's precedent. But, I remember
Well, because I'm told Derrick got verbal. And that's how you normally have it with trainers. Think about it. What trainer do you know in all your years of being a boxer and now a content creator that you've heard they say, and I got a contract on that fighter?
No, I get that. But at the same time, if it's verbal, it's been verbal for all these years. So now why is it suddenly
Well, again,
a problem?
We might be missing that part of the conversation that evolved from, bro, you a pay-per-view fighter now. Like, I'm reading headlines and you sold 345,000 pay-per-view buys for Mikey. You only gave me 10% of the commission.
Right.
I'm reading you just sold 275 for Porter. You only gave me 10% of the commission.
Yeah.
I'm reading you did this for Danny. I'm reading you did this for Crawford. Like, you only gave me. So I think you could imagine.
And I'll tell you, verbal holds up because I remember when I was up in Catskill, right? Kevin Rooney had just finished a lawsuit against Mike Tyson where he got $4 million.
Woo!
And this is in '92, $4 million, which is a lot
damn.
more. Yeah, and it was right there. We were all joking like, "Yo, Kevin, you're rich," but we were playing with him. But so those verbal contracts hold weight because he won that case. Kevin.
No,
did.
verbal contracts hold weight, and again, I'm told there's a special piece of evidence that is admissible in the state of Texas. So, I'm sure that's going to be used as leverage to settle, because if not, you're going to lose in court.
Yeah.
But phone lines are open if you guys want to call in. Discord, Twitter Spaces is available. Go ahead, Marco. I'm sorry to cut you.
No, I was just gonna say it's sad. Like I don't like seeing trainers, a bond like that split. There's probably a big brother / uncle kind of thing going on between the two of them, and
especially when the trainer don't make that much. Like, you know what I'm saying? Give him $100,000 for every fight. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
like a lot of us would say, "Oh, $100,000 for every fight," and that's great. He made $1 million throughout however many fights.
Yeah,
but it's like, bro, that
year.
ain't a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like, all the time he spent. You know how many hours fighters train and the conversations. A trainer is like a father.
Yeah. Well, what did Errol get just his purse for the Crawford fight? You know?
2.5.
Oh, that's it?
That's on paper.
Damn. So then technically he's only getting 250,000.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay. But then the back end, did they say what they think Errol made total?
I don't know. I ain't never see it. I think we only heard Crawford's alleged.
2.5.
Alleged. We only heard. I mean, that's kind of typical of PBC to have a low minimum and let you make it on the back end. If you think you a star, take low money up front, sign for this fight, and make your money on the back.
But the 700,000 plus buys were somewhat of a failure, right, for that fight, considering the magnitude of the fight.
I mean, again, let's believe the 2.5 is real. Let's believe Earl really got paid 2.5 guaranteed, which means Bud got paid 2 million, 1.8, 1.5 guaranteed. So yeah, the 700,000 buys was excellent for them because everything else is on the back. You know, fight, the budget for the fight is low. If you're only paying your main event fighters a total of let's say $4 million, and you make fucking 59 million.
Yeah, that's another 50 to 60 million on pay-per-view buys, but we don't know how that gets split. We don't know how much of that goes to PBC, how much of it goes to promoters, whatever. For sure. But again, I just found out yesterday, again, you could believe it if you don't, that allegedly Frank is getting $5. So do 700,000
times 5. Bro, that's
Frank Martin's getting
that's
$5 per
3.5
pay-per-view
million. That's 3.5 million on the back end. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And when they told me if I said 5, I said, what the fuck? I never heard that. I thought motherfuckers was getting $1 or $2. I think 5 is a whole lot. I think that's a blessing. If that's true, look at the math. If that's true, that is a blessing. $5 off of every pay-per-view. That's insanely generous. I mean, crazy. Like, bro, I know superstars that be dying to take $5 off a pay-per-view in a fight with Tank. Come on. Scuba Steve, welcome to the prospect level. Big Nick, €2 or pounds. He says, AJ and Ryan money got DJ asking questions. Yes, sir. Kareem Abdul, $2. Najee interviewed him 4 days before the news. True. Don't mean he didn't get the vibe, man. Najee does a lot of research. I've been watching his interviews. His interview with Frank was very, very good. And you could tell homie gets prepared for his shit. So I wouldn't put it past him already knowing and not, like I said, being told not to bring it up, being told not to go too deep into the Earl shit. Like it's happened to me. Like there's certainly
me too.
There's certainly people that have asked me to ask certain things and not ask certain things. Like come on, you know.
So
like
when you talked to Ryan, he didn't.
No, because that was spontaneous. Ryan, I didn't even know he was gonna come on. You know, Two Tone hit me up like, "Yo, Ryan said he want to jump on your show." I'm like, "Fuck it," you know what I mean? So, nah, he didn't ask me to say anything or not say anything. And shit, that interview didn't even go long, bro. I was still buttering him up. I didn't get into nothing. I didn't get into nothing.
Jump in when you were done, but he disconnected or whatever he was doing over there.
Yeah, nah, I didn't have the right time. I was trying to, get him loose.
I'll say though, I think the fight's gonna happen now, and I don't think it's gonna affect his performance.
Which fight?
Him and people are worried that he might pull out.
Devin. Yeah, nah, I think it happens too.
And I think it's not going to affect his performance.
I mean, he sent Two Tone some sparring, and according to Tone, he looks very, very good. So
he looks good. He does that chopping thing with his right hand, which I don't get. His left hook is so sharp, and his right hand is, when you compare the two, it's such a huge difference. But whatever.
Word.
You know what I'm saying?
We got Rob Zilla TV, $5 cash app. He says boxers with promotional companies pay themselves. Yeah, I mean, look, Al taught those guys all that shit. You know what I mean? Those are essentially like fucking shell companies to do tax write-offs, and get second checks. He taught them the business, and there's nothing wrong with that. I know a lot of my older good PBC fighter friends. He taught them all real estate. The Quillins, the Thurmans, the Dannys. Man, he taught them all about real estate. Those dudes been flipping houses for years now.
Yeah, I know Kid Chocolate does that.
Yeah, bro. My man retired so long ago. It's like, sometimes some people don't need to be Scrooge McDuck. They good with a couple mil. And by a couple I don't mean two, because I'm sure, Pete got way more than that. Shit.
I don't know what he's up. What he's doing.
I know he do because of the Korobov fight. Shit, he got like 2 mil for that shit.
Yeah, but don't forget, you barely walk away with 30-40% of.
Yeah, but think about what year he stepped aside. That was 1.9 back then. He still had fights after that. I just it'd be hard for him to be broke. Plus, his wife that he married was like an NBC something.
Executive?
I don't know, something, man. So I'm assuming she, and him did well.
He's a cool dude. I worked with him a couple times. We trained together recently. Dude, he's in Jersey.
Yeah. Teterboro, no? Somewhere up there going towards New York.
Don't know what part. Yeah, it's right near the city, though. I don't know. That's more your neck of the woods. I don't know.
Drew, what it do?
Morning, gentlemen.
Buenos dias.
What up?
Nurse Marcos. Very salacious stuff, very interesting stuff. Honestly, I don't think it's going to go too far, Ness, because that discovery phase will be very interesting. Because then it can, if Derrick can prove like he was paying me on the back end after every one of his pay-per-view fights,
Yeah, I don't think
there's too
that's the
much.
case though.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like that
No,
happened.
that's what I'm saying. Like, no, I know, but like it depends. And like you said, like when AJ coming into the gym, a real big fish, a real cash cow, Forbes athlete, that woke Derrick James up. Like, whoa, this is how they doing business. This is how 258 does business. This is what AJ's doing. We got a structure of like, oh, this is how I'm getting paid in the 21st century. Okay. And Derrick was a fighter, right? He knows them big cash cow checks. He knows like, what's
Bruh,
up.
you know what I ain't even say? Because I know these other dudes didn't notice. I don't know. Has anybody said that Derrick ain't even get paid for the Charlo fight?
Nah, is that true?
Bro, they ain't paying for the Charlo fight.
Exactly. Yeah,
Charlo ain't paying him either, bruh. That's fucking bananas, bruh. Bananas.
Bro, like
bananas. Now the
Manny Robles, the same thing happened with Manny Robles and Andy Ruiz after the rematch.
It's crazy.
Is there some weird, like, you remember how Floyd got paid over time? Is there some weird thing happening with this fight?
Nah. The theory behind the Jamel one is, y'all know he wasn't there. Derrick was with everybody but Jamel. My good friend Joanne Guzman was the one that was there, and we all know that. So you know that's the word now, that he didn't even get paid for the Jamel Charlo fight. That's fucking crazy though.
That's true.
You can imagine a lawyer listened to Derrick's story like, okay, there's enough to go there, and a lawyer's gonna ask those questions if it gets to the discovery phase. Like, well, he was told to wait after every back, like you said, the Porter fight. We're gonna get on the next one. So if Errol was taking care of him after those back end checks came in, like, what would be the difference here? You know, so it's a lot of stuff that could come out. I don't think it will go that far. I think they'll settle. But it's hopefully right. I mean, for the boxing talk and the salaciousness, you want it to keep going because you want more stuff to come out, and it's good. It's good for the news cycle. But at the end of the day, you know, it's a sad situation. It's
cutting out quite a bit there, champ.
Yeah, you driving, Drew?
Gone. He's in the woods.
He only got 20 seconds left.
Fucked up that it's still a handshake business. Am I there?
Yeah, you there now.
Am I there?
Yes, you are.
Oh no, I was just saying, like, yeah, no, and it's still sad that in this business, it's still sad that in this business there's a lot of handshake shit going on compared to other sports. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
But that's because the parties involved don't want to smarten up. I hope this situation teaches trainers to put their fighters on contract. Like, I'm sure B&B ain't on no handshake deals. You know, Bomac, with all them fighters that they got, they ain't on no handshake deals, bro. Like, look, you want to train with me, this is what it's going to be. This is what I require. Like,
I've learned early in my life with all the business I've done, everything is in writing, and you verbalize and you write down everything beforehand, because.
And let me tell you, people still break those written contracts now, and they leave it on you because now you got to spend the money to enforce.
But at least for me, as a person I'm gonna feel like good if I know that I'm doing what I said I would do. I would feel shitty if I'm not doing what I said I would do. That's how I am.
For sure.
You
know. We got J-Mac.
Yo, can y'all hear me?
Yes, sir.
Hey, man. Oh, man. Man, shout out to the rollout, man. I guess it's not rolling out. You know, they got tough times over there. You got trainers, they got fighters that can't get paid. But nah, man, shit. I'm gonna say this. I don't know all the facts. I'm listening to what you're saying. I hope they can settle this out. My opinion on it, on stuff that I don't know to be true yet, is that I think Derrick and Errol, they went into I ain't gonna say uneducated. They went in it under a lot of like friendship handshakes, And like you mentioned when Derrick had was privy to training other fighters, and he saw how substantial it could be, and I guess how formal it was with contracts and money could be made. It kind of made him wake up and kind of come Johnny come late to it. Now, ever in court, you gotta have substantial like evidence to prove that your case. And if it was just like handshake agreements, Derrick might be shit out of luck. A lot of stuff I think that normally goes on. It depends on the relationship of the fighters and just pretty much with the fighter and trainer, with them how much respect they have for one another. So EJ, based off what you're saying, it sounds like he does not feel like he needs to pay Derrick, and that's probably why he haven't paid him. He been getting back in money for a minute, so and he hasn't had him or been paying him back in money. They've probably been paying up the upfront money. So I man, like it's a bunch of speculations. I'm just making an opinion on what I'm hearing on the show today. I got some troller, man. Tell C-Dub come out high, man. He gotta answer some questions, man. PBC seems like the money drying up, man. You got trainers that can't get paid from day one, fighters and all that stuff. Fighters not getting all their money. I mean, they crying out for help. All somebody do is gotta come out and say it, man. But not real shit though, bro. I hope Derrick do get paid. But if Derrick don't have nothing in written, nothing writing, man, I don't think he's gonna get paid. Unfortunately, in the history of the sport, we have heard this multiple times, and contract agreements hold up more than handshakes. And it's really come down to the fighter wanting to pay the trainer with his work. If Bud paid Bomac that type of money, it probably got a lot to do with the respect and love and admiration he have, and how his gratitude he had for all the things they've been through and what they done. Obviously, EJ doesn't feel the same. That's my call, man.
Yeah, but then it begs the question, like, does a trainer deserve that much? You know, like the fighter's the one risking his life. The trainer's definitely a part, but is a trainer that big of a part?
But you see, that's the issue. People count everybody's pockets because, like, it's still 10%. Right? Like, if the rumors of Bud are true, well, then he only gave his trainer 10%. It's just when you start counting and saying, damn, his 10% equals to $2 million. He don't deserve that. Like, stop counting his pockets. You said 10%.
Yeah.
10% of whatever the fuck you get. Now, again, I'm not saying that is the argument because I never seen it that way. I never seen back-end checks for the trainer, like, or the trainer get paid off the overall number. I just, you know, I would love to interview a trainer that got paid off of a pay-per-view check, like, and see how that relationship was established. And I don't mean that business relationship where they got to, pay me off the pay-per-view, more how it started, the relationship in itself. Like, because I could see Ellaby, you know, as loyal as he is to Floyd. But again, I don't see Floyd saying, Ellaby, here's $1 off every pay-per-view. I could see Floyd being generous, saying, yo, here's $1 million for being who you are. I can't see him being like, yo, every time I sell a pay-per-view, you get an XYZ. Because Ellaby used to be in the corner. Remember, he used to be a corner man for Floyd. So it just don't sound right. That shit don't sound right. Now, again, I'm not saying a fighter can't tell his trainer, hey, yo, on a big fight, Marco, I got you. On that Bud fight, when I fight Bud, I got you, coach. That's
I just
different.
find it hard to believe that Errol wouldn't honor whatever he said he would do. Maybe, you know, after given the relationship that they've had, maybe, I don't know. It's just hard for me to believe that. I'm not saying Derrick's lying. I'm saying there's obviously some kind of a miscommunication.
Again, I told the audience that I was told that Earl had a change of heart and came back to Derrick and said, you know, that he spoke to some people and that, he paid him more than, you know.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. You know.
So then that's Errol going back on his word.
Well, I ain't say that. I ain't say
change
he had
of heart means I was going to give you this, but after I talked to people, I realized what you got.
Well, no, change of heart in the sense that I, I was told Derrick was pleading his case And I can't say much, man. You know how it's the fine line between off record and on record. You know what I'm saying? So it's just
Right.
like it is what it is, bro. Y'all will find out. It's
Okay, well, that
already
makes more
breaking.
sense, where they both kind of went back to the negotiation table afterwards, and then one guy thought he should get more, the other guy thought it's not, and that's where we're at now.
Yeah,
That's what
it
it
was
seems like.
very close to that. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But again, it still leads to Derrick him having a change of heart on what he was being paid and pursuing more. You know.
Right, and we don't know what he got paid to begin with. Maybe it wasn't enough considering the magnitude. I don't know.
I'm told 250.
250,000?
Yeah, they said 250, 350, but I couldn't find anything that says Earl got paid 3.5 at the Nevada Commission.
Well, if Errol only made 3.5, 250 is okay.
Well, that's the problem. If he did make 3.5, it would be 350 is legally what he's entitled to.
Right. But if he probably made closer to 10 or 20, right, with back end?
Not guaranteed though. That's the gray area where the fighter
Right.
can basically rob the trainer, because it's like you never gonna know what I'm making on the back end because those numbers keep rolling in. Espinoza has said, and plenty of executives have told us that pay-per-view buys are calculated over a longer period of time than we think. So those people get checks later. You understand? So I don't think they can hold Errol to his back end number. Like, it just ain't fair anyway. I don't think it is. That's my stance. I mean, again, I see that Crawford allegedly, using air quotes, gave Bomac all that money, but like, I just never seen it. I guess if more people come out and start making it a normal, but I've never seen trainers get pay-per-view money.
Yeah. I mean, but yeah, we don't know. We don't know what the contracts say.
Ryan in Canada, by way of Tampa today. Good lawyers are needed in this sport. Bro, and that's the funny thing. They all use the same lawyers. Like, Leon Margolis, who is a promoter for Warriors, does all of PBC contracts. All of PBC contracts. And another promoter, I forgot, I had just bumped into him in Orlando. And I've interviewed him on this channel so much as a promoter. And I had got told that tip that he's fucking PBC's lawyer, and I seen him at the Berlanga fight, and I asked him, and he's like, yeah, he's been doing their contracts for years. For years, bro. And the other guy, Michael, anybody from Texas knows this guy, James Kirkland's lawyer. He's still in the business. We just don't know. He's doing all the contracts for these promoters. You know, Michael, is it Marley maybe? Something Michael, man, but people know. General Camino, what up?
Yo, Nuts, what's good?
Another day, another podcast.
Word, what's up with you, Marco? Everything going good, man?
Cold chilling.
That's what's up, man. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to speak too much on the legalities of the whole thing because, it's still up in the air, but I thought Errol and James had a better relationship, man. I thought it was more that Bo-Mac-Bub relationship, but damn. Ooh, it's tough. I mean, I'd have to agree with you, Nuss. I mean, 10%, if that's how it's set up and he getting 10% off that, what he's being paid for the fight, then, 2.5 mil, 250, that is what it is. And as a man, if James wanted more money, he should have spoken on that or decided, like, we need to write up a contract or I can't do this no more. I mean, I know it's tough to lose a great fighter, but if you feel like you work for a certain amount of money, you got to speak on that, man. You can't expect people to fill that in for you and you just going to stand there and not say nothing. But what I will say is it's a real shitty move by Errol. If he was stringing him, if he was stringing him with the, they got us on the next one and he really bringing in bread, that's fucked up. Granted, I I don't know if that even plays a part in like the whole legal situation, if he can even prove something like that. But if he was getting strung on and Errol was having those conversations, yeah, that's pretty fucked up by Errol. But I guess we gotta wait to see what else comes out. But I mean, from what you're telling us, I mean, it just it sucks, man. It definitely sucks a little bit, especially because, you know, I'm not the biggest fan of Errol or Derrick James, but from what I respect what they've done, and I respect, you know, the lane they've carved out for themselves and what they've been able to do as far as, you know, putting on good fights. So I think Derrick James should be worth a little bit more than 250 a fight if Errol is bringing in 2.5 mil and getting a whole bunch of money on the back end. You know, break your man off with something. That's crazy though. I didn't see this news coming at all, but yeah, man, it's tough, man. I just really thought they had a better relationship. I mean, how about you, Ness Marco? Did y'all think they had a better relationship than this, or did you feel like he was always...
Of course.
Yeah.
I mean, Derrick James legit stopped talking to me because he said Earl said he couldn't talk to me. So hell yeah, I thought there was a fucking
Oh,
you
word?
know, fuck yeah.
Errol, Errol, you said something he didn't like?
I didn't think the Mikey Garcia fight would be as successful as it was, and I was wrong. And that's the weird thing. Instead of being happy I'm wrong and like rubbing it in my face like, haha, Ness, you was wrong, motherfucker. Nah, it's like, yo, you cut off. You're blocked now because...
Well, you know, Roy Jones told me that he bumped into Errol right before the Crawford fight.
he don't
and
fuck
Errol
with him either.
didn't want to shake Roy's hand
Yeah, bro.
because Roy chose Bud.
Yep.
And not even not on some disrespectful shit. Just I think Bud's gonna win.
No, dude, you didn't see. Again, it was a fighter that posted, and people talking about, nah, he just posting music. No, he not. That Future shit, pick a side. That shit is real for these fighters. You look at Shakur. He don't talk to Richardson no more because Richardson gave an honest opinion over Delos Santos versus Shakur before it happened.
Yeah, I've only experienced that with Tank kind of getting at me but other than that, but that's crazy that in this sport, you got to have a thicker skin, man.
Word. Nah, you not. They're extra sensitive. It's just a secret.
Not all of them, but yeah, okay, well.
We got CYP.
Yo, another day. Hey, I came to drop some quick facts about contract negotiation with athletes. You know, a lot of people know I'm a trainer. Been doing it for a long time. And I remember when I first got in the game, my OGs that told me how to get it done. This is over 10 years ago when I started signing amateur athletes. And I signed them as if they were going to be professionals, which means that when they get their Adidas contracts, their Nike contracts, their Puma contracts, when they become world champions or get signed, they will pay a percentage increase on what they've been paying me. If they get a bonus at the end of the year, if they get a meet bonus, a championship bonus, a top 10 bonus, they will pay me out of that as well. I always treat my amateurs like they're going to be professionals because I believe in them. I think maybe when they first met and signed this contract, he wasn't up on game about this. You don't treat any athlete that you're signing like he's always going to be an amateur. You treat him like he will be a professional, because if he will be a professional, then that means he feels good about himself and you feel good about yourself every single year that y'all progress together. So when he gets on, he feels like we got on. Every one of my athletes, even the high school kids that sign with me, if they get scholarships, they end up paying 4 years through college back end money that I end up saving their parents. I save your parents $100,000 and I only charge you a certain amount. You will pay if that scholarship is given. That is just the CYP brand. That is the umbrella that we create. So yes, everybody listening, if you are on here and you are a trainer, a new trainer, an old trainer, treat your athletes all like they're going to be professionals and have them sign them contract increases based on their accomplishments, based on the longevity and how they move up in the rankings, whether it's basketball, training, whatever it might be. Don't leave yourself as an amateur getting paid while they're getting paid professional money. That is not fair for you. That is not right. But at the end of the day, they take you to court or you take them to court, the judge is going to want to know what was said. If you tell them this is what said, but, and they get a good lawyer to say that but don't mean a goddamn thing, but where you sitting at, you're going to lose that case. So it's true. They may settle because he may kind of change your heart. But at the end of the day, I know some close friends who were done dirty by athletes because they did not sign these contracts, and they bounce back. They bounce back, but it is some huge athletes I could tell you all about that do this shit all the time when they're not linked down to these contracts. That was it. That was all. CYP out.
CYP out.
Well, he certainly has a good contract, and that's what I'm saying. No, I don't know any trainer that has given me that story where they're like, nah, I'm training this guy, but when he becomes $1 million fighter, I get 12% instead of 10. When he becomes a pay-per-view fighter, I'm getting 15% instead of, like, man, motherfuckers ain't doing that shit. So shout out to you if you are. And hopefully, again, from this situation, trainers learn and they start to do the same, because it's an unfortunate situation. The trainer, this has happened to trainers over and over. They are always the last to get paid. The last to get paid. The manager gets his money off the top. Everybody get their money. The commissions, the sanctioning bodies, everybody get their money. But the trainer, nah, man, he gotta wait. And it's very unfortunate.
Mm-hmm.
We got Suleiman the Scholar. Suleiman.
That's how you doing, man. So yeah, man, that's real sad, man. That Errol Spence is doing that to his trainer, man. After all his accomplishments, man. After that guy being in his corner, man. I thought he would give at least pay him back his money, man. Pay him back his money. Pay the money he's given at least. And if you're gonna retire, retire. If you're gonna come back, you should come back with that trainer, or go back to someone else, but in good terms. You know what I mean? Maybe he could patch it up along the line later on. Because that guy was in his corner, giving him instructions and all that. And to treat him like that, that's a bad example, man. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man. So I think that's awful. I think is there a safety mechanism that a trainer could do? There's nothing basically they could do, right?
Not really. Just have a contract. That's the best you can do, bro. Have a contract.
So just offer him a contract. So they could do that with like an established fighter, like with 10 wins or something like that, right? They can't do it from.
You could do it with anybody. Like you heard CYP, you can do it with anybody. You got to treat the person that you're gonna get in business with as if they're going to be what you believe them to be, so that contract holds up when they do become what you expect.
Wow, that's good, man. You're touching on a topic that many people, maybe boxing fans and many people that ain't into the boxing, they never touch. That's a very great show, bud. I appreciate I appreciate the show and the content. Thank you.
You the man. All right, we're gonna have Glenn Jennings on the show. Remember, that is the manager of Tim Tszyu. So we'll ask him some of these questions in terms of since he was the manager for Costa, and I'm pretty sure they said the same trainer that trained Costa trained Tszyu, right? Or is it just the same manager, Glenn, manages both?
I'm not sure. I don't remember who trained.
We'll figure out, is the trainer the same, and then we'll slip in the question, how does he make sure, like, as the manager, does he make sure that the trainer gets paid? Who wrote that trainer contract up? And, just try to get his opinion based off, his previous situations.
Remind me, what's your pick for Fundora and Tszyu?
I guess Tszyu.
I first thought Fundora, but then after hearing from Mike Fox yesterday and getting some, and then I was watching some Tszyu yesterday. I watched some extensive Tszyu clips, and I think he's a lot more than just a flat-footed, come forward robotic fighter. I think he has a lot of layers. So I think I'm gonna have to lean towards Tszyu now.
For sure. We got Wheels. Stay rolling. If you're watching this on YouTube, while we wait for him to connect, smash the thumbs up. Absolutely free to do. Helps with the visibility. If you haven't subscribed, also do that. Trying to get to the goal of 1 million. Right now, we're on 202,905. So we need about another 95 or 105 to get to the next goal of 200,000. No, 203,000. Wheels, you got to unmute.
What up, what up? Shout out to the Box Boys. Hit that like and subscribe button. Now, I just want people to know that verbal and handshake agreements are legally binding in Texas. And then also, I got a question. Ain't this the guy that's supposed to be the realest nigga in the game, according to the people that
That's what
love
I'm
Errol
saying.
Spence? They love him. They say he the realest. He does this. He does that. And then I had to ask that question. And then I also heard somebody speak about um about Derrick asking for more money. Have we not heard of severance packages especially when major people are separating? He could have been asking for a severance package. I mean, you're about to put him out of work from the biggest money income he's had for years.
Since you said what you said about the laws in Texas, are you from there? And have you seen a severance package for a trainer? Because that sounds very out of the normal.
No, it's in all business. In all business, people have severance packages, especially when like there's okay. I'll give you an example. When let's say just local landscapers, they've been working for farms or uh, private people in their areas, and then that person is moving. Those people sometimes will give severance packages. So that definitely can happen in any kind of business, as long as they've been together and as much money they brought to each other. So that can definitely happen. And then now I don't live in Texas, but I looked up the laws on it. And as long as you got where you talked about it through text message, through audio, or if you got a witness that was there, or if it's on video, all that is legally binding. So it's not hard to prove, because let's think about it. They're always together. There's always somebody with them. Remember, it's a camp, it's a gym, so it's multiple people always there doing business. So I just wanted to, let that be known that these are legally binding. I mean, it's the South, and see, the North they do it on paper by a lot, but in the South, verbal and handshake agreements are just as good as the paper. All right, shout out to y'all. Have a good day.
Appreciate you. Appreciate you. He said some good shit there. Hope y'all listened. What was his name? Wills.
Yo,
Remember when the lawsuit break that I
TVV,
said, remember Wills' call when the lawsuit break.
yo, Ness, how's my audio?
Straight.
What's going on, Ness? What's going on, Marco? What's going on to the TVV family?
Chill.
Little history lesson, because, contrary to popular belief, I'm the real almanac around here. So a little history lesson. You mentioned some other good examples of this, Ness, Andre Rozier, Danny Jacobs, but even if you want to go farther back than that, Manuel Stewart had a situation with Gerald McClellan, pretty similar to this. Going into, and Emmanuel Stewart worked as, like you said, similar to Bomac as a trainer manager. And going into the fight with Nigel Benn, Connor Benn's dad, there was this discrepancy about the money. Gerald apparently felt like he wasn't getting paid a lot of money, so in turn he didn't want to pay Emmanuel Stewart his percentage that was contracted. So Emmanuel Stewart backed out, said, well, I ain't gonna train you or manage you anymore. You wash hands with you. You don't want to pay me. And going into that Nigel Benn fight, Gerald McClellan just had an incompetent training staff. You know, guys didn't even know how to wrap hands. He was having to wrap his own hands. And we seen the outcome to that. He got, you know, beat, and then, you know, career ended in tragedy. So yeah, this has been happening in boxing for a while, man. All I can do is tell trainers, don't mix the personal relationship with the business. I know you probably thought, like, you know, I've known this kid since he was young. He's gonna look out. Fuck all that. This is business. This ain't got nothing to do with us having a beer or watching football. I go to his house, we eat wings together. You got to cover your own ass in business. So yeah, going forward, man, trainers, anybody, you gotta get some shit in writing. Like, I love you, bro. I trust you that you won't fuck me over, but I still want to be playing it safe and making sure I'm covered just in case. And if a motherfucker take offense to that, then it is what it is. But yeah, it's pretty fucked up though. You know, like I said, if from what it seems like, because you know, let the C-Dubs and them say, you know, they built off loyalty over there, and it's a family and shit. And if Jamel did the same thing, you know, you get your big fight purse against Canelo and you don't want to pay me, then Errol get his and him. That's pretty fucked up.
Nah, I hear the Mel shit different because at least the Earl shit, he ain't getting no. You know, he got whatever Earl put on the commission, so he got 10 of that. But the Mel, he ain't get nothing from nothing. No front, no back, no sides.
And I've heard that for like the last few Jamel fights, or for a while now, Derrick would only come in at the last leg of the, and Guzman would be the primary trainer during the camp, and Derrick could come in towards the end. I've heard that. Now, is that, granted, if that means to not pay a nigga, I don't know. I don't know if that's means to not feel like you got to pay him, if, cause since he comes in on the back of the training camp, but. And hopefully everything get worked out. But like I said, man, this is what happened when you mix personal with the business, man. You got to make sure the business right, regardless of your personal relationship. And going forward, I think people gonna start to realize that. Fuck a handshake. Let's get the shit notarized and put in writing. I don't give a fuck if we had a beer and said you my dog for life. Nah, nigga. When the millions come into play and all that shit.
Money
Niggas
changes
start
all these
having
motherfuckers,
hell
man.
yeah,
That's the
hell
sad
yeah,
part, man. I'm telling you, the sad part.
hell yeah. When I made my first 10,000, I said fuck everybody. So I know what it is. Like, I don't need these motherfuckers no more. Fuck these bitches. Fuck my family. That's 10 racks. So I can imagine what a nigga do if he gets some M's. I say fuck everybody too.
Champ,
I
let
fuck
me
loyalty.
get to this interview.
My Cardo, brother.
You the
All right, bro.
man.
Y'all peace out.
We are about to have the manager of Tim Tszyu on, Glenn Jennings. Glenn, good morning. How are you?
Good, guys. How are you guys doing?
All good, man. Thank you for taking out the time. I know it's a busy week for you and the team. But I hate to give you, I guess, I want you to kind of take us all the way back to you being started and you being with his father, Costa Tszyu, first, if that's okay.
No problem.
Yeah, so how'd you get started as a boxing manager?
Wow, it's a long time ago now. I met Kostya when he first came to Australia, and as you know, he won the World Amateur Championships down there and decided to turn pro once he had an offer from a promoter back in the day, Bill Morty. I brought Kostya up to Newcastle, where I live, to do a Police Boys Citizens Club event, and we became very good friends. And he couldn't speak much English, and together we chipped away at it. And I used to visit him in Sydney, and I'd bring him up to Newcastle, and it all started off as a friendship, and it just grew from there over time as his success continued, and he became
So just
a
to
world champ.
interject, you were just his friend. You weren't a manager previously.
No, that's correct. My business is I up until January of this year owned the largest entertainment security business in the country. So I was a manager of many different artists that travelled through the country, major rock and roll bands. I would pick up and look after them. So the management side was always in my blood, but the friendship was more important at the time. And Costa and I became great mates and still are to this day. And so it was a natural fit over time.
What was the first television deal you got for Costa Zoo?
The first TV deals for Kostya came. It was a very different era back then, guys. It was Sky Channel in Australia when the pay-per-view was only available in hotels. And so that would have been the first one for Kostya. And, of course, as you know, we later then signed with Showtime with Jay Larkham, and that was where we sat for most of his career.
And I'm assuming you met Al Heyman years ago, because the kind of relationship that you've been able to establish for Tim Tszyu, we just don't see that. We don't really see a separate entity get with Al and get as many big names that Al has to offer the way that you have. I mean, look, a clear example is Boots Ennis. He used to be a separate entity up until yesterday, and he doesn't get the names that Tim has been able to get.
Very true, but I hadn't met Al during the Costa era. It was primarily just working with Showtime exclusively. I think a lot of the credit with Al Heyman and the Tim Tszyu goes to also our Australian promoters, Matt Rose from No Limits Boxing. And Matt and Al have really hit it off, and they do a lot of business together. And you've seen that last year with Tim's 3 fights in a row. It was it's a very, very strong relationship, and we're very, very blessed to be able to have that deal with Al so that we can keep on keeping Tim busy.
So, did Tim come to you, or did his dad come to you and say, "Hey, I need you to manage my son"?
No. At the time that Tim came to me, it was 2017, October 2017. His mum called me, Natasha called me and said, "Hey, could you pop down and have lunch with Tim and I? Tim wants to have a chat to you." And so, yeah, I did that, and we had a nice chat. And he basically just said to me, guys, that he wanted to give it a go. And I asked him only one question. I said, why do you want to do this? Because he wasn't convinced that he wanted to be a fighter for a while. He was in a bit of a no man's land. He was enjoying other things. And he just said to me, "I just want to see how good I can be." He didn't even mention his father. He never said, "I want to be as good as Dad," or "I want to be better than Dad." It was just for him. So we shook hands and off we went.
How
How
old
old was he?
Yeah, how old was he then?
Let me think. 2007, so that's 7 years ago. And today it's 2024 and he's 28. So, yeah, 21 years old.
Had he had an amateur background?
Yeah, Tim's amateur background, 36 fights, one pretty much, I think he had one draw, and one loss on a countback. So, yeah, him and Nikita, his brother, both fought right through the amateurs. They pretty much won everything that they competed in.
So he's never lost, you're saying, just one draw?
Yeah, that's it, yep.
Wow.
Yeah, and as you know, their dad had, I think, closer to 300 amateur fights. So it was always in their blood. A bit of DNA running there for sure.
Wow. So when did you guys decide that you wanted to fight in America? Because it seems that you can pretty much bring anyone to Australia.
Yeah, that's true. I think what happened for us is that we had a really good run in Australia. We'd pretty much fought all of the opportunities there. We brought the good fighters that we could get hold of at the time to Australia from the United States. But there comes a time where, even in terms of the size of our events, I don't know if you guys have had a look at some of the footage from the Tim Tszyu events in Australia.
Definitely.
They're all sellouts. It's a big opportunity, but I think you reach a level when you get to this sort of elite level in boxing where you've got to expand the marketplace and you've got to go and put yourself in front of another brand new market, and there's none bigger than the US market. So it made commercial sense for us to make that shift, and it was always a dream of Tim's to do that. So we didn't race, we didn't rush, we took our time, we kept him busy, and the journey got us to here. And so, he's very happy and very comfortable here. He enjoys the environment, and he's looking forward to a lot more fights here at this level.
When he fights in America, is there like a ticket code or something so that you know how many tickets he is producing here in the States?
I don't get too much involved in the ticketing and the likes, but certainly in terms of data and input, we sit down together. Matt Rose from No Limits, our promoters, who stay with us on the journey right through, almost in co-promotional position with Al Heyman. So we get access to pretty much whatever we need, and we get an idea. But right now, for in fight mode, it's purely just focusing on the fight, and we leave the business stuff to Matt Rose and the promoters.
I watched a few of your interviews and your reaction to the curveball that was, Keith pulling out because of the bicep injury, which left you guys very little time to transition back to a southpaw. Luckily, you had 7 weeks preparing for Erickson Lubin.
Yes.
It continues to be reported that he pulled out, but he continues to claim on social media that he never pulled out, that he didn't know about it. He didn't even know about a fight. Can you clarify that situation?
Yeah, that's pretty bizarre. That's a pretty bizarre response, to be honest. You don't go into camp for 7 weeks without having a deal done, and then on a given day, much like Thurman, to find out that he was no longer taking the fight. So we switched straight up into moving on to the next available body. So I don't really get that. But I've seen the same stories coming out from the US that Erickson Lubin said that he didn't pull out of the fight, and I just sort of shook my head and thought, wow, if he didn't pull out of the fight, who did? Wasn't us.
Which leads me to my interview with Tim himself, and his interpretation was he was training for Lubin and got a phone call that says, hey, Lubin's out. Do you want Thurman?
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. It sort of happened fairly quickly, not quite as quick as bloody Fundora, let me tell you. But yeah, it happened pretty quickly, and that was the case. And you can't dwell. I mean, if someone's out, there's no point doing an investigation when you're in camp and you're 7 weeks into it. We just move on immediately to the next challenge, and we've had 3 of them on this one. So we started with Lubin, we went to Thurman, and now we've got Fundora. So we're starting to get used to this. I hope it's not going to be like this forever, but it feels like sometimes you've just got to have that adaptability, and that's one thing we do pretty well. And Tim Tszyu is one of those guys that even with Fundora, it took all of 10 seconds for him to say, let's do it, make it happen. And we just did it. Took 12 hours to get it done.
Do you find Fundora a bigger challenge, or do you think Thurman would have been the bigger challenge?
I honestly think Fundora is the bigger challenge. I really do. Only because of the degree of difficulty and the awkwardness, and a 6'6" southpaw. The transition was easy. That was the easy part. The logistics that follow, saying, yeah, the deal's done, and a handshake over the phone and get it done and dusted and hand it back to the promoters to deal with. But logistically, we had a slight problem. Where do you find 2 6.5-footers, basketball players that can punch southpaw? And very, very fortunate for us, we started that search and got some good assistance with it, and we come up with 2 good boys that were literally on the flight the next morning and in our gym that afternoon. So sort of like all the stars aligned for us, even though it was for most what seemed to be like a big flip over and transition. For us, it was merely a bit of a 12-hour all-nighter on the phone, tagging and going back and forth, and we got it done, and everything in the gym the next day was as if it was meant to be.
You spoke of hoping that this doesn't continue with opponents pulling out. Do you foresee any, I guess, issues making the Crawford fight, since he's been named as the mandatory for the WBO?
No, I don't. The Crawford fight and the mandatory will come to fruition on the back end of the Fundora fight when we take care of him. I think that's going to be a great fight. I don't see it being a difficult fight to make. There's been discussions for a little while now with Crawford's people, so it's not a new subject for us. It's a great opportunity for Tim, and Tim's absolutely 100% in wants that fight. It'll just come down to, at the end of the day, as you know, commercial realities, making sure it's the best outcome for us, and getting it done.
From a managerial standpoint, is it better for that fight to be in Australia since Crawford defeated Horn there and he's known?
Oh, look, I think Crawford's pretty much known everywhere.
Wait, actually, Crawford, let me strike that. Crawford didn't fight Horn over there. Horn
No,
fought
he fought.
Pacquiao over there. Horn fought Crawford in Nebraska. I'm sorry.
That's correct. That's correct. But look, there's a definite opportunity to look at the Australian market. Tim's very high up in the pay-per-view numbers over there. But I don't know. It's not really. I'll have those discussions, but I'll let the promoters take the lead on that and see where they think it's best going to land, and then I'll come in and have a chat and make sure commercially it works. But it's a great fight. It's a very good fight, and we're equally as confident as we always are that Tim Tszyu can take care of Terence Crawford. We understand he's pound for pound, and we understand he's an absolute great. Don't disrespect that in one bit, but our boy's a beast, and everybody. There's been 25 that have said they're not. Tim's not up to their level, and there's been 25 who've been sent home with a loss on their record.
We've seen Ricky Hatton when he had his opportunity, and I know he's not from Australia, just saying.
Yep.
When he had his opportunity with Mayweather, he was able to fight here in Las Vegas, and there was reported 30,000 people. Do you see a fight, and I mean 30,000 UK people that flew to Vegas that didn't even get into the fight. Do you see a fight for Tszyu where he can get a big number of Australians to travel? I'm not saying 30,000, but whatever number you want to interject.
Yeah, look, the Aussie fans are crazy, as are the UK fans. The UK fans have the population to support 30,000 travelling fans. I'm not sure we could ever get to that number. Even at Kostya's peak in the US, and we didn't get to anywhere near those numbers of travellers. But I do think that the other issue for Australia is a 15-hour flight, and it's a very expensive flight. So I'm not sure where that lands, boys, to be honest. I think if it was to be in the US, it'd have to be a Las Vegas fight. That's probably the key to getting the Aussies here, making it a holiday package and letting them come to Vegas and do that. But equally, if it was to come to Australia, it would be a stadium show and most likely a sellout in Australia.
Speaking of stadium, we seen Tim recently say he wants the big fish, period. Spence or Crawford, period.
Yep.
Has Errol Spence ever been offered?
Yes, it has. In a discussion at a time where we were having a bit of a fish, so to speak, as to who might be willing to take that opportunity. Spence has always been in our business plan, guys. It's Errol Spence for us was always the option that we wanted to take in the build-up prior to Terence Crawford coming in on this mandatory arrangement. So nothing to hide there. We've mentioned it a few times on Tim's. We had a little funny game with that little hit list we done, and it was Spence, Crawford, and Canelo in that order. Yes, he was definitely. It's definitely been discussed. Nothing further at this stage because obviously we've got other commitments and you can't get too far ahead of yourself. But certainly the fishing net's been thrown out there, and Tim wants the big fish. That's for sure.
Would you be willing, or is Tim willing to take him immediately next? Like if Spence is saying he's back, or do you want him to get a win first?
No. If it came to be and Spence became available next, absolutely we'd take that, as we would if our hand is forced via a mandatory for Crawford. At the end of the day, one thing a little different about how we do business versus a lot of others is that we don't hide from opportunities. Tim, as you've seen, we average 3 or 4 fights a year. And at this level, that's not really a normal, especially for you guys in the United States, whose fighters tend to be have a fight and disappear for quite some time before they resurface. We don't do that. We stay busy. Tim Tszyu, at the end of every fight, has a week's holiday, and he goes there, and all I get photos of him training in the gym. So. I think Spence, if the Spence card gets dealt, absolutely you'll see Tszyu Spence. If the Crawford card gets dealt, absolutely you'll see Tszyu v Crawford. They're the two big names that we want, and they're the two big fights that we will pursue.
Is it safe to say that Spence is higher on the agenda because he's part of the PBC family, where Crawford, it's been recently announced that his one-fight deal with the rematch with Spence is already expired and he's a free agent?
Oh, yes and no. I mean, there's a great relationship with PBC, and yes, Spence is one of the big guns. So that's very easy to make, and I also believe that Terence Crawford will be easy to make, to be honest, because the discussions with Crawford's people have all been very, very positive. They want the fight. They've been interested in Tim Tszyu now for about 6 months. So. And I know Terence finds it a little difficult sometimes to get fights because he doesn't have that platform and he doesn't have that promotional arrangement around. But look, we're in a great position, hey, from my point of view, to have these options and to know that we can reach out and touch them and make them happen. It's a great management position to be in. So I'm pretty pragmatic about it, fellas, to be honest. I know that they are both amazing fights. I know commercially they're both going to be very good for all concerned. And I know that for Tim Tszyu, it's the challenge that makes him get out of bed. The big fish is where he's at, and he probably deserves the opportunity because he's doing the business and he's as active as they can be, and that's just who he is.
I mean,
what's the heaviest weight that you see Tim going to, by the end of his career?
Look, in all honesty, Tim Tszyu is a very big 154. He could walk to 160 tomorrow without a problem, and he will easily accommodate 168, and that'll do us. And of course, if you look at our hit list, 154 will take care of that division. 160, not too strong at the moment, but in time, hopefully, it'll clear up and we'll get some good results out of that. But the big gun is depending on the timing of Canelo, if he's still around and where he's at by the time Tim gets to 168. So we're realistic. We know Canelo's the gun. He can choose whoever he wants, but we work towards specific goals, and our goals are real. They're not fake. If we say we're going to pursue Spence, Crawford, and Canelo, that's exactly what we'll do.
Glenn, how serious are you about this Crawford fight? Because obviously, as a manager, if I'm putting myself in your shoes and they're giving me the option between Errol or the guy that destroyed Errol, I'm going to take the stadium fight in Dallas with Errol, see how my fighter does first before I throw him in there with Crawford. But they've given you 5 days to negotiate. Is it really any way to avoid Crawford in this situation?
Oh,
and I know avoid isn't the choice word, but I mean, for lack of a better word.
Yeah, I know what you're saying, and you're dead right. I mean, let's be honest. If you look at this position we're in right now, you almost have two games side by side. One is an opportunity to go in against Errol Spence and have a good look and get almost acclimatized to that style of a fight. We know that Crawford took care of Spence. That from a business sense makes sense. It also gives an opportunity to allow the Crawford fight to build and to look at Spence and Crawford took 3 years to come together, and they got a good commercial outcome out of it. But then on the other set of cards that you're playing, you've got this mandatory that's coming in with a very short time frame to negotiate. So right now, if you were to ask me today, I would say, in my own opinion, I would love to see us lean towards Tim going into Spence and then Crawford. But it may be that Errol Spence isn't available. I seen some footage of him yesterday. He's still on holidays. He was at some, looked like on some island somewhere with his lady. Good luck to him. I'm not sure what he's doing. There's not been much said unless you guys have got any more information on Errol Spence. We don't really know what he's up to, but we do know that Terence Crawford's ready to rock and roll. So when you put all the dominoes in a line, mate, it can either go left or right. And at the moment, a bit of a flip of a coin, to be honest. And I think on Monday, once we've got this fight out of the way and not looking past Sebastian Fundora and how difficult that is, it'll come down to some pretty heavy discussions as to all of those components that come into making that decision. Either way, mate, I think it's going to be either Spence or Crawford. And I think you guys will know very quickly.
Can I ask? I was a big fan watching Costa growing up, right? How much of a role, if any, did he have in Tim developing Tim's style, teaching Tim the basics, fundamentals? I mean, was he a part of that?
Interesting question, that one. As you know, Kostya divorced from his wife after a few years after his Ricky Hatton fight and went back to Russia. The boys were young, and Mum brought the boys up, but they certainly have never, ever forgotten the discipline and the military style that Kostya lived. It was very, very dictatorial. He's a very hard man when it comes to the discipline, and that comes from his background in the Russian military and all the things that he done. So the boys have that. The boys, their training, their focus and dedication is definitely a byproduct of Dad. But in terms of they were in the gym when they were little with him, and they have all those memories. So, but in terms of style and stuff, that didn't come via Kostya. The boys pursued the boxing themselves and formed their own styles. There are things I see, and sometimes I stand ringside and just get a little quiet smile on my face where I think, Jesus, that looks like Kostya. And little things that they do that's very similar. And of course, Nikita's a southpaw, so he punches like his dad, and he has a style similar to his dad, whereas Tim is much more the calculated technician, the pressure fighter, and his power has grown and developed enormously as he's matured into a man. So I'd say in a short answer, yes, there's the DNA from Dad, no doubt. Yes, there's the early life experience from Dad, but in terms of their evolution as boxers, that belongs purely to them and their coach Igor, who is Kostya's uncle, who married Kostya's sister. So it's very much a family affair.
So Tim's head trainer, I can't pronounce it. Is it Golubev?
That's correct. Well done.
Oh, wow. Wow, I'm usually criticized for bad pronunciation. So, any chance, I didn't do any research, was he also the father's trainer?
Johnny Lewis, well, Kostya had his own trainer in Russia who came to Australia for a little while but didn't stay. Then Johnny Lewis, the Australian Hall of Fame coach, took Kostya through most of his career. And then about, I don't know, probably 2, maybe 3 years, Igor was involved with the family in Russia. And then Igor came to Australia and he started to become involved. So, yes, he had the tail end of Kostya's career. He's not a fighter himself. He's always been involved in that. But there was quite a long time, guys, between Kostya retiring and the boys coming into the game. So in that time, Igor ran the Zoo boxing gym, and he had George Kambosos for about 12 years as well. So brought George and Tim and all the boys all came through amateurs together. So Igor's a very good coach, guys. He doesn't have much to say. He's a man of very, very few words, but when he speaks, it matters. And he's a very, very good coach, a very smart coach, and he's wise for his age. So we're very lucky to have him.
Glenn, just for the purposes of our daily topic, do you have more time or do you got to go? You pressed?
No, I'm good, mate. It's early here. You guys got me out of bed early.
Perfect, perfect. For the purposes of our show, obviously there have been tons of rumors of Derrick James not being paid. So I wanted to ask, as a manager, do you handle that for Tszyu and have a contract for the trainer, or does Tszyu, as the fighter who is basically the business, does he have to handle that himself?
No. Tim handles none of the business. I'm entirely in control of the contracts, the business payments, all of the financial arrangements. I am very tight on that simply because I believe that for the fighter to get to where Tim has, he has to literally live in a world just as distraction free as we can make. Keeping in mind that's not possible for a lot of fighters. They don't have the family connection, they don't have the history, and they don't have the trust. One thing about me is that I do this more so for the love of the family and the boys, and the fact that I was there when they were born, and been on this life journey with them more than I do for the business. So I'm 61 years old, and I've just sold my business in January this year after 40 years, and I certainly I'm not in this for the money. So that's sad when I hear that trainers don't get paid, because the effort that the trainers out of all of the team put into these guys needs to be rewarded, and they should be respected. And so the first person that I pay on the completion of the fight and payment is the coach. Absolutely 100% first time. And I'm very proud to say that we are a professional unit that pays our bills, and we have our reputation follows us there.
So Glenn, is it common for a trainer to receive 10% of the overall purse of a fighter? Like your fighter, he's a pay-per-view fighter in Australia, gonna be a US pay-per-view fighter. Are you, and I hate to be so personal, but the issue is that it is alleged that Derrick has already filed the lawsuit, but that he's seeking money from the Crawford fight. And in my opinion, you don't get money from the back end. You get money from the commission. What I report to the commission, I'm paying my trainer 10% of that. Is that not common? Can you just at least tell us what common practice is so that we can get a better understanding of the situation?
Look, common practice would be, as far as I'm concerned, is 10% to the coach and 10% of the purse, and there
but
should
of the guaranteed purse, not of the pay-per-view purse.
No, correct. The guaranteed purse.
That's exactly what I thought. I just feel like, maybe someone told Derrick, hey, Crawford made 20 million, so Errol had to make 30 million. You deserve more. And it's like, I've never seen a coach get back-end money.
No.
Could be a thing.
Nor have I. That they should stand alone. Just my opinion, not a legal opinion. They should stand alone separately. You can't hook your fighter to a pay-per-view revenue that you don't know what it's going to be. The fighter is the guy who sells the fight, the reputation of the fighter. The coach, when you first go into these deals, you go in, you know how much you're going to get on a guarantee, and that is the deal. The other side of it, the backside of it, when you're talking about commissions that come off pay-per-view and the likes, who knows what that's going to be? I'm sure there's no trainers jumping up and down when the pay-per-view's a shithouse and there's no money.
But there are some instances, right, where maybe the guaranteed purse is a little lower and the deal is negotiated as such where people are going to get more money from the back end because they know that they're going to set the guaranteed purse a little lower. And in those instances, maybe there's different negotiations and different practices, right?
Yeah, 100%. You have options when you go into these things. You can go into a guarantee. You can go into a split arrangement where you say to the fighter, but it's all got to be done in advance. You can't chase it later on and say it should be. It's contracts are contracts, and you've got to be clear in business. You've got to. All parties need to know where they stand well and truly before the fight date. If a trainer chose to negotiate that, it needs to be a contracted deal that says that this is how much I get from the guaranteed purse, and both parties agree to, a 10% split of the pay-per-view revenue once it reaches a certain amount. And if the fighter is happy with that and the manager's happy to do that, then everyone's happy. But it's got to be a deal that is laid out well and truly in advance and everyone understands, and has to be a legal document. It's no point doing it on a handshake because the interpretations will ultimately end up in court. So do it properly, take your time. But I can't tell you, I don't know of any trainer that I can recall who has, and I don't know what Derrick's arrangement was, so don't get me wrong, I'm not criticising him. I'm just saying that I don't know of anyone that's came in post-fight and said that they are entitled to a piece of the pay-per-view revenue that may or may not have been negotiated. I don't know, but yeah, that's a strange one. And to be honest, guys, I'd not heard that. That's the first time I've heard that, and I think that's going to be a contractual issue for the courts to sort out for sure.
Absolutely. So I have a few questions from the people. Anything that I say that that we've already talked about is just to make sure they get their shout out and you don't have to re-answer it. We got Octo.
No, yep.
Octo says, how has it been watching Tim grow into a world-class boxer over the years, and how would you describe his focus and drive?
Oh, look, it's been a privilege, to be honest. It's been an absolute privilege to see somebody come from where he has to where he is and mature into an elite level fighter who's now at the top of the tree and potentially about to fight, an opportunity to fight the pound for pound greatest in the world at the moment. His focus and drive is his fundamental basis for his success. There's no doubt about that. He has all the skill sets, but without that focus, drive and dedication, the skill set will fail. And so he is, for me, the complete package, as was his father. And getting to do it all over again, what a privilege. Very lucky to be able to do that.
Ryan Fraser in Canada says, I appreciate you, Glenn. I wish we knew Fundora would be Tim's opponent much earlier. My brother is 6'3" southpaw at super welterweight. We really could have helped out in camp. Shout out to Tim for saving the card once again. So no question, but we'll turn that into a question. And what did you think of Tim essentially saving the card? Because his decision to take on Fundora allowed, quite a few fighters to still make a paycheck. Because if there's no fight, there's no check.
Yeah, look, the consequences of any fight being cancelled 10 days out is just devastating to everyone involved. Having said that, it was never a question of doubt. Tim Tszyu took, like I said, from the moment I said, mate, bad news, Thurman's out, he said, what now? I said, the option may well be Fundora, and it was just an option at that stage. And Tim just looked at me and said, make it happen. And I left, and that started a 12-hour tag team right throughout the night to get it done. So, look, we're happy for everybody. We're happy for Tim, but I can assure you, had Fundora said no, and it didn't happen, we would have been busting our ass for the next 24 hours to find somebody to try and keep that thing going, because it's all about Tim wants to fight. Nothing else came into play. Forget all of the other stuff. Thurman's a memory in our rear view. We went to go straight into search mode to find an opponent, and Fundora was right there in front of us, and it was wonderful. Great outcome.
Glenn, this is my own question, and I hate to be in your pockets, which is an American thing for, trying to figure out how much money you're making. But IFL from London continues to report that, and I quote, Tim Tszyu will be making this weekend the highest earned sporting purse in Australian history, with him set to make $10 million from his fight with Fundora. How could this be if you went from the known Thurman who's done
Yes.
millions of views, to Sebastian Fundora. Like, is this information accurate?
No, it's not accurate at all.
Okay.
They are referencing a discussion that's been clicking around now for the last 24 hours about the Crawford fight. There was a figure thrown up in the media, and they've run with it, that the Crawford fight is a $25 million fight. I'm assuming they're saying from that, because Terence has posted and has been out there for a while now, that it's a $15 million fight. So I'm assuming that they've added 10 million in for Tim, and that's where the 25 mil comes from. So it's certainly not the Fundora fight, guys. I can assure you that those numbers are farcical. That's not the real world at all. So while Tim's getting well paid for Fundora, it's certainly not Crawford level money. So that's an inaccurate report from that UK group.
All right, we got Flacco38 that says, should have pulled out and went straight to Crawford fight. Shows heart, but we've seen this backfire. Good luck on Saturday. What are your thoughts about that? Instead of just canceling the fight, rescheduling a new date with a new opponent in Terence Crawford, handling the mandatory, because I get what this fan is saying. When you take a last-minute opponent, you sometimes end up in, bad situations.
Yeah, look, we're used to it. This is, I think, the fourth time we've had to flip to go to another opponent. And, risk reward comes into every negotiation. But you have to also remember, Tim Tszyu's been in camp for about 17 or 18 weeks when you take Lubin into consideration. And you've got to consider the fighter too. And for us to bounce out of this and go into a Crawford, that would require some serious adjustments. That's a massive fight. We would most likely have to take a break and then reset and go back into camp for Crawford, and that would be unfair to our guy, who ultimately is a fighter, and he's my only concern. I'm not too worried about Terence Crawford having to wait. I'm more my job is to make sure Tim Tszyu gets the best outcome, and that certainly right now for Tim, the best outcome is, wouldn't matter who's in front of him, to be honest. It wouldn't make any difference whether it's Fundora or somebody else. Erickson Lubin might have put his hand up. We would have got whoever we could get into that ring, because Tim's ready to go. I know it sounds a little bit strange, but it's an actual reality with us that there's a few people who said, "Wow, this is a big risk." I said, "Well, it's no riskier to any other fight that Tim's taken, because Tim's already locked and loaded for the Southpaw. It's an awkward fight, but no different to, we did Harrison, we did Ocampo, we did Mendoza, and everyone said Tim wasn't ready for Harrison. It was another level, and Harrison would make mincemeat of Tim. And then Ocampo, tough Mexican guy, and then Brian Mendoza, the big puncher, would knock Tim out. Well, we say the test is in the ring, and that happens on Saturday night. So in answer to that question is, there is a risk in every fight, but when you're a fighter, you've got to fight and you've got to stay active. And staying active is, for us, the key, and we don't want to be sitting around waiting. And the other side of it too is, if we didn't take Fundora, then then the mandatory gets made, and Terence and Tim get together. We've got to start that process. We've got to build that fight. Got to make it happen. I think for me personally, it's just too long to get him out of the ring.
All right. Let me know whenever you got to go. If not, I still got some more from the people. James Valdez.
No, I'm good.
All right. From San Antonio, Texas, says, what were your thoughts for bringing in Brian Mendoza for sparring, and how do you see his fight playing out?
Yeah, how interesting was that, eh? Brian's a great mate, but one of the nice things about boxing is that most of the guys that we fight, we form relationships with. And Brian said to us in Australia, in the tunnel after the fight, if ever we get over here and Tim needs a hand, shout out. So, of course, it was a perfect opportunity to get quality sparring for Keith Thurman. And Brian, we know, was in Vegas, and he had like a reserve. I don't know what you call it. What do you call that fight? when they bring someone in as a on the card to
Oh, he
Brian
was
was
a
fighting.
fill-in. He was a fill-in.
Yeah. He was in line if somebody was to get in strife or fall out or whatever the case may be. So he was in training, which was great. So we got together and we done some sparring, and the sparring was terrific. And Brian said to us, he in the back of his mind, he was covering bases for the Ukrainian boy and for Fundora. So he had Micah Fox sort of lined up to do some sparring at some point. And then, sure enough, literally a couple of days after we'd finished sparring, it all went down. Thurman pulled out. And so the first call we made was to Brian's people to say, there's every chance Brian's now going to fight the Ukrainian boy, and we're going to take Fundora. Can we get hold of this big 6'4" boy out of Maryland? And of course, Micah Fox was already in the loop, and he was on a flight the next morning. And the other lad we got was 6'3", Adriel Holmes Jr. out of out of Detroit, and he was on the flight literally an hour after Micah Fox. So we ended up getting two big boppers within the next day into the gym. So Brian was great. We got great sparring, but we also got Micah Fox because he was already in the loop to do some work with Brian.
Perfect. Shout out to Brian, man. He gets an opportunity again. Credit
He
to
does
Tszyu.
indeed. Yeah, he does indeed. And if he wins, he becomes our mandatory again for the WBC.
He's in a tough fight, man. Chuck's a puncher.
He is a puncher. Yeah, that's going to be a great fight. And Fundora was getting ready for Chuck. So look, at the end of it, we got the hardest part of the deal. Sebastian's not going to have to make a ton of alterations to his fight because Tim and Chuck have similarities. They both punch hard, but when you look at what we have to face in a 10-day period, going from a 5'8" orthodox to a 6'6" southpaw, that's an interesting challenge.
I got Nino B that says, do you think Tim will be able to maintain the same level of activity going forward?
Oh, look, that's the plan, boys, and I'm a realist. I understand that at this level, it's not just the training and maintaining the level, it's getting the commercial side of it done and getting the fight date done and getting him in the ring that slows everything down. And you've seen firsthand some of the worst examples of slowdown. And that's the killer of boxing as far as I'm concerned, where you've got a champ with multiple belts who just doesn't fight for whatever reason, whether it be physical, mental, or just stringing the division out and leaving all the other fighters that have busting their ass to get their opportunity in limbo for years at a time. That's not fair. That's not what boxing should be. So I will do from my side everything I can to expedite the negotiation, the contracts, the commercial side. The coach, I know Igor will have our boy ready, so it won't be delayed because of us. I can assure you of that. If you see Tim Tszyu stretching out from 3 months to 4 months to 6 months, it won't be because of us unless there's an injury. That's the only thing that would delay Tim Tszyu getting back in the ring. So let's hope that what we're doing and staying active, I don't know, I'd love to see it rub off on a few more of your American fighters, to be honest, because
me too.
I think there's too many of them who just think that this is what boxing's about. Make as much money as you can and go on holidays and have a honeymoon for 2 years and then come back. Problem is, take COVID, for example, the loss of the fight scene during COVID. How many of the pre-COVID champs came back and got the daylights beat out of them? Mm-hmm. We fought right through COVID. We ran from state to state in Australia ahead of border closures and ahead of lockdowns, and we had 3 sellout stadium fights because we stayed positive and we said, no, we don't accept that we can't fight, and we will go for 10, 12 weeks and stay in another state away from our families to make sure these fights happen. And that's how Jeff Horn happened. And we only got half of our team there because the border closed while half of our team were on their way. So you've got to be committed to the cause. I just think boxing's taken a wrong turn. I know money does that to people, and I know when you get money, some lose the hunger. But I think it's more than that. I think it's becoming almost amongst fighters somewhat trendy to not fight. I don't get it. Fighters fight. I just don't understand it. I hope what we do, and I hope the narrative continues that, Tim Tszyu is the real deal guy. He's an old school throwback fighter that just wants to climb through the ropes and punch on, and we will come knocking on doors to get people if we have to, because he won't let me sit round and let him sit round. So interesting concept, something new for you guys. hopefully, we see a lot more activity.
I got Toledo Treese that says, what's your thoughts on a possible matchup with my guy, Albert Bell, and your guy, Liam Wilson, if he can beat Oscar Valdez?
100%. We know about Albert Bell. We know he's a great opportunity. Liam's in another great position. As you know, yesterday, guys, they've announced it now as the interim title against Oscar Valdez, and that happens on Friday night in Arizona, and we will scamper across for that and then literally fly back at midnight for Tim's fight on Saturday. There's some really interesting options coming out for Liam Wilson. One is, of course, if Navarrete wins at 135 and chooses to stay there, the winner of Wilson Valdez will be made full champion. And so that opens up doors for him to go and look at the other commission fighters and fight for unification and ultimately undisputed. Or alternatively, if Navarrete loses and wants to come back, then we've got a great rematch on our hands. But Albert Bell and Ashaki Foster, they're all names we've talked about. They're all in our business plan. It'll just see now where it all lands. Like Tim, Monday is going to be a very busy day for me.
I have Joe Pilot that says, is Goodman managed by you? If he is, any plans on bringing him stateside?
He's not managed by me. He's a very good friend of ours. He does share the same promoter, No Limits, Matt Rose and George Rose. And Sammy's at that point now too. Sammy's ready to come stateside. I think he, like Tim, has taken care of everything he can on the other side of the world, and it's time to expose him now to the big game. There's a lot goes on for the Australian fighters in terms of that drive and that dream to come to America. America's still considered for us Aussies as the mecca of boxing. This is where it happens. This is where you get the absolute best of sparring, which is something that we struggle with at home. We have a limited arsenal of great fighters that can compete at elite level for sparring. Yet when we come over here, you have a smorgasbord of availability for sparring, and that'll be the next step for Sammy. So yeah, stay tuned. I think you'll see Sam Goodman making his launch into America quite possibly later this year, maybe early next year.
Against the ropes with Dose, how many weight divisions do you see Tim capable of winning a title in? So that's slightly different from how many weight divisions you see him going up, but still the same, right? 68?
Yep. I think the Tim Tszyu that I know and the mental picture that he has of where he wants to sit, I see Tim Tszyu being a 3-division champion across 154, 160, and 168, and that would be his ultimate goal, to win those belts in each of those divisions.
Profound Dreamer, is Tim Tszyu willing to vacate the WBO belt to make the Spence fight happen next?
That's a question for Monday. It's certainly a fair comment, and it's certainly an outcome that could happen. But I'll park that one for now, if that's okay, and leave that until Monday.
Kerry G out of New York, what do you think of Tszyu's best boxing attribute? Excuse me, what do you think Tszyu's best boxing attribute is?
I think for Tim, it's his. There's two that stand out for me. He brings an unending pressure, never a minute to adjust, to think, or to consider how to respond to Tim. He is literally like a wet sheet attached to you. He doesn't give you that opportunity. But most importantly, from the get-go, he's timing and distance, without a doubt. He's very economical. He doesn't waste punches, and when he does throw one, it's thrown with intent. It's bad intentions. So those three together, and then of course, as he's matured, the powers come with it. So it doesn't change those three; it just enhances those three because he backs that with the power.
Glenn, that is all the questions, man. Do thank you for coming on the show. We do appreciate it, and we look to get you on more regularly. If you want to
You're
give out
welcome,
any
Glenn.
social media where you want people to, reach you, if not, once again, appreciate you coming on.
No, always a pleasure, and I'm a fan of your show. I like your format. I like the way you go straight for the throat. That's important. I enjoy it. It's the Australian way, mate.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, in the Australian vernacular, we say, "Don't bullshit the bullshitter. Just go straight for the throat." So, look, please follow our journey. My company's called Fight Life Management. You can see it. Jump on Facebook or Instagram, and of course, Tim Tszyu too. Our business page on Facebook, Instagram, and Glenn Jennings. So great talking to you guys. Thanks for the opportunity. I hope that helps give you viewers a little bit of an insight into how we do business and where Tim Tszyu's at this stage of his career. And I'd love to keep you informed as we roll along. It's going to be a great ride, and we hope you come with us for the journey.
All right. Well, thank you, Glenn. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. The manager of Tim Tszyu, Glenn Jennings. Art, talk to me.
Mr. Jennings.
Huh?
I said Mr. Jennings.
All right. Hawk, Marilyn, got to unmute.
I guess he's not there. It's crazy how Tim's style, like his dad didn't teach him anything. It's just that similarity is just DNA.
Hawk, you gonna unmute or you gonna play those games? All right. We got Profound Dreamer that says, refresh the questions. I edited mine. I seen that. I did that. We got Profound Dreamer back with another 5. They dropping that WBO belt like a bad habit. Laughing out loud emoji. Modern King, $2. Good luck versus Fundora. 2 boxing gloves emoji. Profound, $5 more. Boom. There you have it. Team Tszyu just admitted they prefer the Spence fight next.
Well, you kind of set that one up for him, though.
I mean, because I know the business. I know the business. No one throws their fighter into the fire. You walk them over some hot coals first. Errol are the hot coals. He's still burning ashes from the ass kicking that was fucking Crawford. So you let him go through that first to have a barometer. See how good he did. Then, Crawford looked sensational. Can he ever do that again? I don't know. But you always have to think that he could. So because you're forced to believe that he can produce such a performance again, bro, you got to be careful. What the fuck? It's a business. This guy's a manager. He's not a trainer. He's not a fighter. And that's why he gave you that answer, because his best interest is the fighter's overall well-being, finances, and the debt he owes to the mother, who was the original person to put them together. But fantastic interview, man. Shout out to Glenn. Marilyn, any day now. Tell me.
I think after Saturday, depending on how good Tim looks, Errol might not want to do that.
I mean, again, I think it's just options. Like you heard him say, where is Earl? He said he's seen Earl on another vacation. So, that just could end up being a pipe dream. It was offered. At least we got that out. It was offered. But, they can offer Earl, but is Earl ready?
Yeah, and does he not even ready yet? Does he want to? Because it seems like he's taking a long, possibly permanent break. I mean, if Errol retires right now, I don't think anybody would be shocked.
Yeah, I mean, I hope he don't fucking retire. That's lame. I mean, I do understand it though. I do understand it.
Yeah,
You're at the top. So you lost there. You made a bunch of money. It's
exactly. And you
like,
were the best fighter in the world, arguably pound for pound for a while. So
all right, no Hawk. Then he's not unmuting. We're gonna move on to Big If.
Yo, you can hear me?
Yeah.
Yo,
got you.
salute, man. Yo, great interview. That was a good interview. I agree with a lot of his points, man, especially him talking about how like the fighters got to be active more, man. Tim is definitely one of those that's mad active. Another guy, AJ, who's like a big star. He's been active in the past few years a couple times. So that was a great interview, man. But I could see the Errol Spence fight being the preferred fight. They'll both come forward. And Arrow, I mean, it seems like they're probably gonna use the tape from the fight with Bud to see how they could capitalize on some of the mistakes, like the reaching and all that kind of stuff. But unfortunate, man, to hear about the Arrow fight, man. Maybe Arrow was like, "Yo, man, I ain't getting $1 million worth of training, son. Like, I need a coupon, man. You need to take some money off this, whatever you're trying to get from me, son. Like, I'm not jagging that. I'm not paying this amount of money. Like, you know what I mean? But unfortunate that happened. Hopefully they sorted it out. They sort things out. The fight is tonight. The Pro Box card.
Yeah.
Oh snap! Okay. I'm looking for my man, Nomaschenko, man. He's back. Looking forward to that. I don't know if how's that's gonna play out though, because he hasn't fought in a while, right? The last fight was a Lomachenko fight.
Yeah, Walters ain't fight, but no. He got some Panamanian tune-ups in, I believe. I got double check, but I'm pretty sure.
Oh, okay,
Pretty sure he
okay.
slid in a few tune-ups in Panama, cause
Oh, that's what's up, man.
he been living out there for like 7 years or something like that.
Oh, that's what's up. Because the last I heard from him was the
He fought
Loma fight.
once. I'm being told he fought once.
Oh, okay.
Actually,
That's what's up.
no. He's wrong. He fought in February last year, and then he fought November last year. So now this will be his third fight for his comeback since Loma. Two
Oh, I
fights
missed
last
that.
year.
I missed that because I thought Loma was his retirement fight. But anyways, looking forward to that, man. I don't know. He's probably close to 40 now, so I don't know how that's gonna look, man. But salute to you, man. That interview was really
He's
dope.
38
And
now.
30. Okay. I'm gonna check it out tonight. Salute to you, man. Salute to Marco. I'm out, man. Peace, yo.
All right. Unbiased Brim, what up?
Hey, what's up, Ness the Best?
What up?
One of the hardest working men in the sport of boxing, boy. Who with you? Marco there? Danny Ringwalk with you? Who with you?
Marcos is here.
What's up, Big Marco? Oh, he's struggling.
Yeah,
all right. First of all, let me give a shout out to Glenn, man. I really like Tim Tszyu. I've taken a big liking into Tim Tszyu. He's a warrior. I hope he looks phenomenal against Fedor because I want the Crawford fight instead of the Spence fight. I understand it. I don't necessarily like the fact that they would want to go with Spence first, but I understand it because Crawford is a serious challenge, and that's kind of a testament of how skilled Terrence Crawford is. Where like I see Tim Tszyu as a person that's game to fight anybody, but he's looking at that like, but that's a dangerous fight, man. I might need to get a little preparation before I just jump in the ring with the guy. But no, shout out to Glenn though because I really like Tim Tszyu. And I hope, even though a lot of us don't feel like the fight is a pay-per-view worthy card necessarily, but I just hope we support it, and pay attention to Tim Tszyu because he deserves the attention. I think he operates like the fighters of my era, so salute to him for that. In general, the Errol Spence and Derrick James thing. I could be goofy and silly and say, "Oh, Terrence Crawford did it," but it's deeper than that, man. It's unfortunate, but that's part of business. This happens in all business, not just boxing, where people that you came up with at some point, you go separate, and maybe it's about the money. I mean, we don't know this for certain that this is the case, but if it is, it's sad in a sense.
But at the end of the day, hopefully Spence can, bounce back and get back in the ring. Some people think he should retire. I don't think so. I mean, I know that loss was a big loss, and it probably will affect him going forward. And we don't know what we'll see from him, but I would like for him to try. That's just my opinion. But I'm looking forward to the Pro Box Squad. Hopefully, I can watch as much of it before I go to work tonight. But yeah. I don't know what else. I mean, I just want to stick to the topic. I don't want to get off base and start talking about some other crap that ain't what we're not talking about. I want to stick to the topic. I don't want to do no CYP action. I don't want to do that, man. But yeah, man. I look forward to the fight. I think Fandor is definitely a challenge, but Fandor, man, if he had a jab like his sister, if he had a jab like Gabby, then I think he could possibly pull it off. But because he fights just like Tim Tszyu, even though he's longer, taller, he effectively takes away some of his advantages. And I think at some point he's going to hit with that shot. Because I think Tim Tszyu hit harder than Mendoza, in my opinion. So, but we'll see. I appreciate you, man. Until next time, I'll be listening.
All right. We forgot to bring up that, Abel Sanchez got done dirty by Triple G, in terms of pay and things like that. But yeah, just wanted to bring that up. Jesus. It's a wrap. One of my favorite fighters just started working with. Fuck, I ain't even gonna say it. Jesus Christ. These fighters be making crazy mistakes, bro. J. Bill.
Yo, you got me?
Yep.
Yes, sir. Shout out Ness, shout out Marco putting in that motherfucking work. That's always a good interview, man. I really like what Glenn said. And I'm starting to see something about I don't think it's just Australian, but I think UK overseas fighters, Glenn said it himself. Like these fighters need to take a page out of our playbook. You feel me? They need to start moving the way we moving. So that must be like some kind of talk around the water coolers. Like, damn, man, these Americans kind of soft, man. Like, we taking the fights whenever we get them, whoever it is, we ready to fight. I don't know, like, was you picking up what I'm putting down right now?
I mean, I hear that, but you also talking about a guy that admitted he's willing to do the Spence fight first and then willing to do another welterweight next and was already scheduled to fight a welterweight.
I wish you would have. I was about to hit you. I wish you would have asked why is that. We know why it is, though.
I mean, because it's money time. It's oh shit. It's money time. You know what I mean? So Errol represents a big check in Dallas. His comeback fight.
Ooh.
He's fighting a white guy. So the coach are going to totally overlook Tim Tszyu. And, it's going to be a big fight in Dallas. And then Tszyu probably knocks out.
You just reminded me of something. See? So, through like that shit, it kind of had me down. But I seen a silver lining. He said that Crawford money. You know what I'm saying? He said Crawford money. I think this is the first time we heard Crawford money. You feel me? So,
Nah, what I heard is that he said it's easier to make the Errol Spence fight, and he said that he heard Crawford said he's a $50 million fighter. So I don't know, man.
No. This is what I'm talking about. When we got to the part about the IFTV talking about Tszyu's bag, and then Glenn went into, I think they might be thinking about Crawford, woo. He said, we might be getting this during Fundora, but we're having preliminary talks with Crawford's team, but the Crawford money is different. Shit like that. You feel me? Like, you pay the cost to be the boss. When you step in the way righteously, when you step in righteously in this sport, that's what's gonna happen. Saudi money, Canelo money. Now we got Crawford money, man. PBC got that funny money. Like, come on, C-Dub, where you at?
Why is it funny money? I don't even get. First of all, I don't get why y'all keep attacking C-Dub. Like Errol Spence is a fighter under the PBC banner. Like Al Heyman owns the PBC. How does Errol?
We know it's all love.
Yeah, but how does
We
Earl
know.
not paying his trainer got anything to do with the PBC being broke? Like, y'all got to stop thinking that
Going.
way.
Come on, Ness. You know it's the fun of the show. We just throwing shots. At the end of the day, we know it's probably not as
If
the whole
anything,
PBC.
if anything,
We
is Earl
throw
being
shots.
greedy? Like, he got
Facts.
the
We gotta throw
money.
shots at C-Dub. We gotta throw shots at C-Dub. He be flying his flag. We got to. It's inevitable. You feel me? So yes,
Inevitable.
it
D
is.
block.
It is. Oh God, Baltimore stand up. So it is funny money because you know you got plenty. You got the biggest fighter in the sport asking to put my bread in escrow. So you know that's why I call it funny money.
According
You
to
feel me?
reports.
According to reports, yes. We
But
must
then,
have had
but
that.
then,
But
but then
yeah,
what did,
man.
what did Eddie Reynoso come out and say? Oh, there's been a lot of reports that we left the PBC, that we not working with the PBC. No, we are good with the PBC. We got a direct line with Al Heyman, and we got
Yeah, bottom line,
approval to do
we
whatever
poking
we
fun.
want. So it's
We
like,
we poking fun at the end of the day. We don't know the full situation. You know, you going from rollout to courthouse. That's all I'm gonna speak on it though. I'm gonna leave it there. Hopefully, Derrick James gets his ends. I want the Mandem to get his ends, dog. We want everybody to get their ends. But yeah, man, great interview. Let me break down a little bit the Zoo and Fundora. When I talk about Zoo and Fundora, when I say Zoo's gonna have to get on the inside, he's gonna have to use skill. I'm mainly talking about his footwork. I haven't seen the footwork from Zoo. I'm not gonna say he doesn't have educated footwork, but from Bud to Rolly and Ryan, he's closer to the Rolly and Ryan. I'm sorry, but he could be middle of the pack. He's gonna have to show me something in the Fundora fight. I think he does edge out the win. I love the gladiator spirit. I love the shit he's preaching right now, but I'm gonna have to see a little bit more educated footwork so he can get on that inside and get the KO like Mendoza did. So yeah, man, y'all keep on putting in that work. Great interviews, and let's keep on doing it. I'm gonna tap back here. Somebody say something.
yeah, nah. All right, next GTO. Hawk trying to slide in last minute-ish. Hawk, you gonna unmute today?
Yo. My bad. I'm driving, man.
You straight.
But what TVD? What up next?
What up?
Ain't too much. 531. Hey, look. Maybe Earl Spence should have did like Triple G did and cut his trailer off before the big fight. Because that's what Triple G did.
You what you say? Cause you on a Bluetooth, so it don't sound that
Oh,
purge.
okay. How about right now?
Yes.
Can you hear me now? Okay. I said maybe Earl Spence should have did like Triple G did, which was cold too, but he cut his trainer off before the big contract. Right before the big contract, he cut his trainer. You remember that?
Yeah. That's what I just brought up, the Abel Sanchez.
Oh, okay. I didn't hear that part. I'm driving. Okay. That's what I wanted to say earlier when, but I didn't know you had just talked about that. So yeah. Because I think that would have been, it was still, Sanchez was still upset about it, but at least he would have did it before the big fight. So, but okay. Other than that, man, I still got the same thing. Kasazu is going to knock out Fundora within like 8 rounds. It's not going to be as hard as everybody think it's going to be. I just think Kasazu is on point right now, and I'm waiting to see him fight Terrence Crawford. That's the fight I want to see now. I want to see that fight. Yeah. So, but that's my call. That's
All right, champ. You the man, profound dreamer.
What's up, TBV? Good morning. Y'all can hear me?
Yes, sir.
Hey, let me do the intro, Ness. Gather around, TBV. I know you're still listening. Get on down with these profound rhythms. Ness, man, I told y'all yesterday, Team Tszyu don't want no parts of that man, Terrence Crawford, man. The manager, he was giving you the sauce. He was letting you know It's straight duck sauce over here, baby. Like I love Tim Tszyu. I'm an American boxing fan. I like when fighters come to America and they try to break through in American markets because that's the brand of boxing that I like to watch. I'm not really interested too much in the overseas boxing. But so I got a lot of respect for Tim Tszyu and the way they built him over this last year, having him fight 4 times. It's been crazy. Well, like I said, I seen it coming, man. I know they don't want no parts of Crawford, and business-wise, they got too many excuses not to fight him. So I hope Crawford can make something happen. But I want to say about the fight though. I think Fondora don't got a chance, man. He coming off of too long inactivity, off a knockout, and I something that I harp on all the time with these American boxers. And I'm glad the manager said that too. These guys is too inactive. You cannot become great fighting once or twice a year. You're making it difficult for yourself. And just like we see with Anthony Joshua, he got all of them tune-ups, and now he's starting to like the AJ hybrid that we remember. So, like I said, I know Terrence Crawford and them guys be listening, man. I know the boxing world be listening to your show, man. I hope they can make something happen. I hope they could find a way to work with the zone to get over there and fight Madrimov or something, or get Virgil Ortiz on the line because he about to fight for a title at 154. It's looking like so. I don't know, man.
All right, champ.
Yeah, no doubt.
We got Mr. Perfect.
Yo.
Word.
Yes, man. I'm sick of this shit, man. I've been staying quiet for the last couple of days listening to this bullshit, man. Y'all keep downgrading, man. My boy, Fendora. I don't know why y'all think this shit gonna be an easy one for Zoo, man.
You know why.
I still got... Nah, it ain't no you. It ain't no you know why. Y'all getting that knockout shit. You get that knockout shit, that one hit. Come on, man. Once my nigga take that one hit from Tim Tszyu, he gonna take all the rest of that shit, man, and start pummeling his ass, man. Stop playing with my nigga. And then, look, man, Spence already done paid Derrick James his biggest motherfucking payday, man. That
When?
nigga all the fights Spence had. What you mean? Derrick James been getting paid good. And I think Spence feel he ain't. I don't. It ain't all about the trainer, but I just feel Spence felt that he ain't get trained the right way to beat Crawford. So he trying to make him pay for that. That's what I think about that. And I'm pissed off, man. Y'all ain't talking. I know you a title man, day by day title man, but I've been meaning to come on here a couple days ago to start this week off and keep the same two people on the same thumbnail on every show. The Sinisa and yes. I'm mad that's the biggest fight this week. Fuck the rest of them fights. Like this shit pissing me off, like nobody talking about this shit. Like first time undisputed at the bantamweight division. Like, come on, man. Like, then you got two beautiful females fighting. Like, come on, bro. Like, how is this not the biggest fight for 5 belts? The Ring magazine too. Even though Sinisa got it. But that's on the line too. Y'all gotta come on, man. Y'all talk about all this bullshit. And y'all keep talking about this Tim Tszyu shit. I can't wait to Fendor be over this nigga like a giant. Beating the fuck out of him. I'm big time boxing, man. Detroit tomorrow. I'm at that bitch, man. March Madness, Little Caesars Arena. I'm at that bitch Sunday. Elite 8. Yeah, man. I gotta fuck with Spence over James on this, man. Cause you been getting paid good from Spence, bro. So I don't think he should have a problem.
But how you know? How you know that money been right?
Cause he been up to him all the way until now. He can't be telling.
But we don't know. We don't know what was being told to that man.
So he's not. So you don't think Spence was Spence? You know Spence a real nigga. So you don't think Spence was paying Derrick James right? You gotta come on with that. Cause
Hey man, why else where there's smoke, there's fire, player.
I mean I believe Derrick James want his money from that Crawford fight, and he did probably because he mad Spence ain't listen to him. But I'm saying y'all ain't have the right game plan for that. So I just think Spence like, nah, fuck you. I've been paying you good all these years. Shit, you can. The way I got beat, you could take a break. That's just how I feel about that. Big time boxing, Detroit.
All right. For those that care and want to drop a question, we will be having Ryan Rozecki on the show next Tuesday. I think that's someday in April. So, again, anybody that I'm interviewing, you're always, as a member, able to drop a question. As you heard me reading today's questions, get in on being part of the interview. You feel me? And ask your questions to whoever we're interviewing. I'm setting up a few interviews. I've been getting a lot of requests, so I'm just setting these up. And again, as a member or a Patreon, you are able to ask any of our guests one question per Patreon or member. We're going to Bougie Broward. What up?
Yo, you can hear me?
Loud and clear.
It's your boy Bull G from Broward all the way to Sarasota. What it is, champ?
What it do?
Hey, I came in a bit late today, man. I basically need a recap. I read the title, but I want to make sure I read that motherfucker right. So I'm assuming Derrick can get paid or some shit, or
According to Derrick,
damn, that's some sucker shit. So if he had So I'm guessing that's why they ain't fuck with each other, man. Because Derrick was just on Cigar Talk. I was watching the interview. You feel me? He touched up on the moment just for like a few seconds, and kind of brushed off that situation. As far as he like him saying he only
and
focusing.
what else he do? He pushed Earl to fight Crawford, did he not?
Yeah, yeah.
Don't sound
So
like they friends if you trying to make that boy fight Crawford.
yeah, I mean, damn if you do, damn if you don't. Like Derrick said, bro. You get what I'm saying? But I feel like shit. You paid the man these the other times when you fought, bro. You feel me? Like just because you ain't want to pay the man, that's some sucker shit, bro. Like pay the man if you pay the man you win. Pay the man if you get your ass whooped, bro. You feel me? He took the time out to try to prep you, even though both of y'all ain't take the shit serious, but y'all was on the same type of time, bro. The same type of team, bro. Like you feel me? But it's here nor there when it comes to that shit. This card this weekend, it don't even feel like fucking fight week, bro. I ain't gonna even much lie to you, man. Shit don't
It's
even feel
still
like fucking.
early. It's still early.
Yeah. Well,
Today
yeah, man.
today should be shit coming out because it's Wednesday. So now we gonna start getting like maybe media workout or final press conference. Something round table. It's usually everything start ramping up on Wednesday anyway. Only if a big fight do you get a Tuesday media thing where they call it a fighter arrivals. So they fake like the
Right.
fighters just got to Vegas when the motherfuckers been there.
They been there, right? I already know. I'm excited about the OTX shit, man. There's a lot of fighters I want to see on there. Mac Truck and
Man,
all the other
OTX
little
on some
local.
bullshit, man. They said they
Wait,
weren't signing fighters, now they signing fighters. So,
uh,
they got
yeah,
dudes just
they got
waiting.
Akim Barak on that motherfucker. Nah,
I
they got
seen
Akim
that.
Barak
I
on
seen that. They got hired as the
like,
commentators. Seen that
I said,
shit.
okay. I
Yeah,
see y'all, bro.
my boys don't stop killing it, boy. They stay in
I'm
some
trying
big
to tell
shit.
you. And then we got a pro box card today, ain't it?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we
My
lit,
boy
man.
Axeman back.
Yeah, we lit. I just need to find me a bar on Saturday. Gotta find me a bar. Gotta call around today, see who's showing the fight. You get what I'm saying? You got your fight stick set up, ready to go, updated, all that shit.
Who you talking to me?
You got, yeah, nigga. I'm talking to you, Ness.
Nah, man, the fire stick is in the bedroom. And I told y'all before I could never do the fire stick because it's going. What if my shit fucking fail and I'm live?
It ain't real, man. It's Amazon Fire Stick. It ain't gonna fail, bro. All that shit tied in, man. Have you a good old time. You know what I'm saying?
My man out here
But yeah, man.
advocating.
As far
You
as
want them
winners
numbers
this
to be too
weekend,
low. If them numbers too low, don't expect the Tszyu Crawford fight. Don't cry now
and
when he fight Earl, cause them numbers ain't.
listen, the
You heard
numbers
what Glenn
regardless,
said. What
bro.
Glenn said. What Glenn said. Nah, we know Crawford won 15 million. So now go ahead and
Well, listen,
steal this pay per view from Tszyu.
the champ deserve that shit. But listen, at the same time, bro,
Nah,
you
go ahead and steal this pay per view
can't
from
control the
Tszyu,
product, man.
and
The
then it ain't
product was
gonna be no
already
money.
the product was already
When
kind of
Tszyu and
ass, and
his
then they get it
team,
worse.
when Tszyu and his team check the numbers and they like, oh man, we only sold 50,000. Crawford gonna be like, man, I'm out of here, fucking with y'all. So don't say nothing when y'all don't get the Crawford fight, cause y'all ain't buy this shit. Got to go.
Yeah, Crawford got plenty options, champ. Plenty
Oh
options,
yeah,
man.
what
It
other
don't.
options? Eubank? Cause I prefer Tszyu over Eubank all
No, I
day, every
prefer Zoo.
day.
Bro. I prefer Zoo as well. I
You know,
prefer Zoo as well, but
And Tszyu come with 2 belts. Eubank come with what exactly?
not a damn thing. But we'll see how it is this weekend. Like I said, I need to call around, see what bar is showing this shit, and then we're gonna just lock in with that, man. I'm if you got a show tonight,
Fire
then
stick
I just
whack anyway. I mean, I'm just putting it out there like cause I'm locked in for a year, so I need to do it again next year, but I need somebody else to hook me up because the person that hooked me up, they clearly robbed me. I could tell. The price is too high.
yeah, man. They want 70 for the pay-per-view
What you mean?
of this weekend. They want
Oh
70 for Fundora and Tim.
yeah. It's 70. It's actually 69.95.
Yeah, you know that's before tax. You get what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
that pick will drop back up there to 80 something. But yeah, man, we'll see how it is. I got Tim Tszyu for the dub. I got Pitbull to knock his ass out. I got who else was on that card? Who the guy who's fighting Fundora opponent? Laura. Laura
Booker Chet.
fighting
Nah,
this
Booker
weekend.
Chet. Booker Chet. Yo, that is crazy. Laura is fighting. Why we don't is he still on the card?
They sold, bro. I think Laura's still on the
He
card.
ain't on the card. He ain't on the
For
card.
real?
No.
Yo, what the
I ain't see no
fuck?
mention of him. Let me see. I just got a new press release this morning talking about Kamel Moten. Let me see if he on the card. I don't think he on the card, yo. So they
Damn.
say Tszyu,
I was kind of
Isak,
looking
Rolly.
forward to
Oh
that
yeah, he
shit,
is
bro.
on the card. He
He's
is on
still
the
on it?
card. He still
All
is on
right,
the card.
so we Gucci. So
That's crazy.
I'm gonna go with Laura. And you know shit like that there, man. If I need to break down some shit, I'll break it down later on this week. But yeah, I was late to the show. I was trying to see what was going
Bruh,
on.
I
But
don't
yeah,
even know who these dudes is. Who is these non-televised undercards? My dude's name is Micro Cello. That's crazy.
hey, PBC coming out with a bang. Roll out, man. Roll out, man.
And this other dude, who is Suleiman Segua, Justin Veloria, Eric Benitez. This is crazy. I don't know none of these dudes. Galupo, Giegas, Eric Howard, Adrian Nieves, Stephen Walker. Bro, what in the fuck? Then, after all them names is when they talk about the highly touted 17-year-old 2-0, 2 KOs, had made waves coming out of the Mayweather promotion stable and turned pro last year with a pair of knockout victories. None other
They not
than
gonna televise that fight, is it?
nope. I think it's because he's
Okay.
17, though. I think it's because he's
Yeah.
17. Shit,
Yeah.
whack.
Okay.
I ain't sure though, cause when you think about it, I remember they signed Gabriel Flores and this other dude, Xander. We got to see them dudes at 16, so I don't really know. I don't be really understanding how this shit work. I guess it's state to state, maybe it's state to state, and it's like, Vegas don't do that. So you could go to a certain other state and have your, you know, minor professional fucking debut. We got Tip Bellis. Tip Bellis.
Yeah, yeah.
Yo.
Yeah, hey, man, shout out to Suleiman, man. Yeah, Suleiman Segwa. Yeah, he from out here. He used to train my little brother. He fought Kobia. I know you know Kobia, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, him and Kobia fought. When they used to spar, they used to get into it all the time. But yeah, Suleiman from out here and shit. But man, shout out to the big fish, man. You know what I'm saying?
Earl?
Disrespected of Yeah, shout out to the big fish, man. Disrespected of him, bro. You know, when your favorite fighter is emotional like that, I can see something like this happening, man. You know, he the realest, but he the most emotional too, right? So it's not to be unseen, bro. But yeah, man, it's fight week, man. Tim Tszyu, Sebastian Fundora, get ready. Tim Tszyu's about to land the most vicious body shot y'all ever seen. Y'all about to see Fundora look like he caught a cramp. He about to take a whole shit in the ring, bro. It's about to be nasty for him on fight night, man. It's about to be real nasty for him. Bogachuk versus Brian Mendoza. That's gonna be a close fight. Honestly, I see Bogachuk winning, bro. I see Bogachuk winning. And we got Lara. You already know Lara gonna get that dub, bro. Ain't nobody fucking with Lara, man. Even at 52 years old. You know what I'm saying? Lara even at 52. Sinicia and Costa. That's a tough fight, bro. I really don't know who to pick, man. I really don't. That's a pick'em fight. I really feel like that's a pick'em fight right now. And then what else we got this weekend? Shit. Let me see. Camaro. Julio Cesar Martinez, bro. Hey, damn. When's the last time he fought, bro?
Julio Cesar Martinez? I don't fucking know.
Dog, he been on wasn't he scheduled for like 3 different fights and they ain't never go through?
Yeah, again, I don't fucking know.
I mean, I guess he ended up pulling off the dub. I mean, he been away for a little minute, so
This
I guess.
this some PBC shit. I don't know where they found these dudes.
And then Chiron. Yeah,
Davis.
Chiron and Elijah. I think that's gonna be a banger, bro. I think that's gonna be a real banger.
We
I
gotta
mean,
see
but it all
what
depends on
it's all on Chiron though, like what he got left. Can he
yeah,
deal
because
with
I mean
that young boy? That young boy is a young boy.
we gonna get Chiron the boxer or we gonna get Chiron the rapper.
The
It
bang
depends.
you mean the banger. You mean the banger, because that's his issue. He don't box. He you know what I'm saying? He can box, but then do you get the banger?
And then Rolly and Pitbull, man. Man, listen, if I'm gonna tell y'all this now, bro. If Rolly don't show y'all he got a jab, hopefully this will be a live bet, man. If Rolly don't show y'all he got a jab, we take Isaac Cruz with the knockout, man, because you got to have at least a jab to keep Isaac Cruz off. And Rolly has shown us in the past he ain't been able to display a fucking jab. Even in the tank fight, all he does is probe his lead hand, bro, and try to set up for a big shot. That's not going to work with Isaac Cruz. He's going to walk straight through that shit, and he's going to start throwing them looping left hooks like we always see. Then, Zerto fight this weekend?
Is it this weekend?
Yeah, it's
Is
on
he main
Saturday.
eventing in Glendale? Nah, that's Top Rank in Glendale. I don't know. Let me double check. Cause today ain't no preview show, man. But we gonna see. We got Plant City today. Then we got Detroit. Then we got Glendale, ESPN. Then we got DAZN, Elijah Pierce. That's March 29th. And then March 30th on Prime. Nah, man. Zorzo is he? I don't know. I ain't don't see him this
Yeah,
weekend.
it's this weekend. It's Saturday.
Mm.
Yeah, Zelda fight this weekend. It's
Who
Damn, Rocha
ain't,
back
isn't
too.
that a Golden Boy card though? Let
I
me see
think
if
so.
it's
Cause
under this. Maybe it's under. Oh yeah. It's in Inglewood.
Rocha back. Rocha back.
Who?
Rocha back. Alexis Rocha.
Who?
He's fighting Frederick. The dude got that got knocked out by Giovanni Santillan.
Speaking of the dude that knocked out Rocha, he back in June, and
Oh, you talking about?
I know who his opponent is.
You talking about who? The dude that knocked out Rocha. Oh, Giovanni. Oh shit. On
Mm-hmm.
top rank?
Yeah,
Is it a decent?
he back on a June card. I think that's the Xander card, right? Or it might be the Tio card. I guess it could be the Tio card that I've been
Oh,
telling y'all
hopefully it's the
about.
Tio card. It's more. It'll be more eyes on the Tio card, and then him being the champion. I think that's more beneficial for him. People really gonna tune in. Hopefully, I mean, is it a decent opponent that we all know?
Oh, we all know him. We all know
Uh,
him.
he has he fought as of late?
I'm not at liberty to say.
Damn. Now you got
Cause
me wondering.
if I start saying that, then you gonna easily guess it. You feel me?
I mean, I ain't gonna. But yeah. You right. All right. Damn. Yeah, I'm waiting to see him back, man. He a fighter, bro. He a fighter.
I'm gonna say this. We all know him. It's a decent fight, but again, I guess my standards is lower than y'all's. Like I love a lot of fights, like you know what I'm saying. So I think it's a decent fight that should be received. Both good and bad. It's gonna be received negatively and positively, I believe.
Word. And then, man, I've been wanting to get to this, bro. That bullshit ass Golden Boy card that they putting on, man. Your boy out here fighting
Yeah,
Gary
that
Antoine
shit
Frederick.
crazy, bro. They wilding for that. That's not Golden
No.
Boy neither. That's Golden Boy
Oh,
letting Rick Mirrigan, drive the car. Look, they got
yeah.
pictures of motherfucking Oscar picking apples and shit. Like, that's Rick Mirrigan pulling this shit off. Like, yo, just let me do this. I'm telling you, we gonna get this many tickets. But like, these opponents is god awful, man. I'm shocked.
Yeah.
I'm shocked this got approved. It gotta be approved by the zone because they fired McCroskey, right? Like McCroskey wouldn't approve this shit. This shit don't make
Thomas
sense.
Delore, man, shit. Yeah, ain't
Thomas
that
the
when
lawman, my man, law. Like, what? Yo, has he won in the last 7 years?
I don't even know, bro. Last time I seen him was when he fought Boots. Boots got it. Yeah, that's the last time I seen him. I think that just looks bad, bro. Especially since Boots got the win over him. It looks like they taking a step back, not really like a step forward. But I mean, I get it. You know what I'm saying? Virgil he only had one fight back, and then at that the fight didn't even last long because of the ref and shit. So I mean, I get it. It's like a little touch up, but I mean, they could have gave us something better than that, man. Ain't nobody trying to see no Thomas Delore, man. But I mean, the Jose Ramirez Ransom Bartholomew fight. I mean, that should be a good scrap. It should be a good scrap. That should be a good scrap. But yeah, man, that's it, man. That's it.
I. We got Al in the Bay Area. Long pause. He wildin'.
Yo, what's up?
Straight.
From the Bay to LA. Man, I know like a couple of months ago, I guess it was like, they were saying like Earl and James kind of having an argument and they might break up and he might not be his coach anymore you know, there was smoke. So I guess, the smoke was actually fire, because, it was like going back and forth and, it was rumored that James was never going to coach him again. And literally right after the Crawford fight. So maybe that was this, maybe that was why things are happening.
You know, um, that's why the rumors were rumors, and we see why James may not be uh, in his corner anymore. But um, definitely come game. Um, I've been on air a couple of times saying that I had a cousin who used to box professionally, and he got ripped off by Don King. So it definitely happens in the boxing game. It shouldn't. Um, it shouldn't happen. Especially when somebody's been there for you from the beginning. If you're gonna rip off the dude that's been there from the beginning, you willing to rip off anybody. And that's just the way I feel about it. Um, definitely have contracts. Uh, should even landscaping I have contracts, with different people. So when you're doing business of any type of business, you gotta have a contract. Verbal contracts, you know, is good, but it's only a band-aid to an actual contract. So that's my call. If you're in a verbal contract, that's cool, but you got to get that thing on paper. All right.
All
Hello.
right. No, got you, champ. Appreciate you. We got member for 5 months on the champ level. Retracted his message. Salute. Years of lurking, $2. Earl lose one time, and dudes act like he trash. That's what they did to Keith one time Thurman. Cut the shit. RRT boxing with Mr. A, $5. I've been telling you this. A Islandri Laura pay per view. Hashtag Hardin. Yeah, I don't know how Laura's gonna, can't be his pay per view, But I'm gonna be interviewing Jacob Lefty Marrero. Jacob Lefty Marrero, big, little, small. We interview him all. He's gonna be on the show Monday. His fight week is next week. So yeah, if you are familiar with Jacob Lefty Marrero, definitely, go ahead and check him out. Drop a question, and
Who
we
that?
going to ask him that question. I'm also interviewing female boxer Chelsea Anderson. That'll be sometime Tuesday because I double booked on her by mistake. But look who's back. Look who's Bizak.
What up?
What up? So,
Who's Lefty Morero?
a boxer that I will be interviewing on Monday morning. Nest GTO, Instagram and Twitter. Catch me on the next one. Arrivederci. Peace.